Oh, I hate that. Get rid of that.
That is. I'm so glad I didn't switch over.
I'm like Walt Disney with this.
Oh, now the whole world can see it.
Walt,
Oh,
can I have my job back? Walt, please.
It almost looked like
no.
it looked like some Groucho Marx.
It was, yeah. We're just
But wait,
actually
wait,
with the
it
glasses too.
It
Yeah.
gets worse.
Ew.
Oh God, why?
Like funny colors.
Hi, welcome to Zoom Effects 101. Why are we called Because the Night?
Because it's a song.
It's a song.
Because the night.
Because the night.
I gotta look it up now.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Hey, Julian, you know what you should do?
Introduce us.
No, I was gonna say make a Spotify playlist with all the titles.
I should do that, and then you
That's,
guys.
I mean, that's basically what VW's playlist is with other shit thrown in there, but yeah.
Hey everybody, it is Friday. That
Alright.
means it's VTM time.
I'll close the special effects
It's
tab.
time for Vampire at the Disco.
At the disco.
You're right, Jesse. It's VTM time. Welcome everyone who is here. This is Vampire at the Disco, our 1970s 5th edition chronicle, where our fledglings, which are halfway to being neonates, are experiencing various forms.
What those words mean still.
It means that you're not considered like
So fledglings
a
are
noob.
babies, right?
It's like fetus, baby, toddler, yada 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 yada.
Gets called to
yada, yada.
the Middle East
Elder.
because is elder. Yes, the elders are called away to the
There,
nonsense land.
there's fledgling, there's neonates, there's ancillae,
Mm-hmm. Elder.
elders.
Turn into fucking mushrooms halfway through.
There's a lot of
Sorry,
funny.
sorry, I interrupted.
There's a lot of funny words in VTM.
Funny.
I'm not sorry I interrupted. These words mean nothing.
You know what, Michael? How you feel that way about VTM is how I feel about half the words in D&D. So
Oh, I know.
we understand. But yes, welcome one and all. Our coterie is experiencing some sabbat nonsense. And some of them are trying to figure it out, while others are trying to gain further efforts towards the Anarch movement. Andromeda is pushing our stickers that we have made of the coterie members, which you can
they're so cute.
you can pick up at the merch store if you like the characters. Though, as a quick precursor, Vampire the Masquerade is a dark game. Covers a lot of dark, awful topics because you guys are monsters and you drink blood and you do awful things to people and each other sometimes. So we try to use safety tools to make sure that both you guys and our players feel safe and secure, like a burrito or a coffin, something like that. But
You get what I get at Chipotle. That is not a secure burrito. I gotta eat that shit with a knife and fork.
right, yeah, because otherwise if you hold it, it's like it's top heavy and it just
It
kind of
goes right out the fucking bottom. It's a mess.
it weighs 5 pounds.
You have to support your bottom. You gotta support.
You gotta support the bottom.
See, I get double rice because it's a
Oh.
ratio thing. Otherwise, there's too much beans to the. I need a base anyway. My lunch is a fucking mess.
Now everyone knows Michael's Chipotle order. I for one get double protein because keto. Anyway, let's go around the board and tell me who you are playing, what clan you are, and for the character building question of the night, what is your character's worst habit and why? Everyone looks like they're deeply contemplating. See, like this is just a jump start, the creative juices for the improv and the ultimately fantastic role play that we're gonna have.
like based on others' opinion, I'm based on their opinion because that's two very different things.
We'll
I
say
can tell you what VW's worst fucking habit is. She doesn't wear goddamn shoes.
we've fixed that. Anyway, no one knows who these characters are yet. So because Andromeda, you spoke first, you volunteer as tribute.
I had a question.
We'll
Questions mean nothing.
do it based off your opinion or VW's opinion.
Okay.
PW's opinion is that I just care too much.
Why are you so mean to me?
That's like every shitty job interview. What's your worst quality? Well, sometimes they just care too much.
And then you start the job and you don't give a shit because I don't get paid enough for it. Like, I rolled up to work 9 minutes late today. I don't get paid fucking enough to show up on time, especially when I can't clock in unless I'm either on time or 3 minutes early. Like, fucking, I don't get paid enough.
Little Miss Thing still employed during the pandemic. Okay.
You have a job too.
Yeah, but I'm not bitching and moaning about it.
That's all you do.
What? Get out of
Anyway,
here.
Andromeda, who are you playing?
Hi, I am Andromeda. I'm playing VW. She is a Tremere, and people are being mean to me, but I think VW would think her greatest flaw is definitely something along the lines of like repeatedly giving others the benefit of the doubt, even if it fucks her over multiple times.
Oh, so being naive.
Yeah.
Or too trusting.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure Gavin will change his mind, and I'm sure other things will turn out fine. You know,
We haven't seen him in 5 years, and the last time we saw him, he tried to murder you in an alley.
She said, Vanessa and Jackson would finally be friends, and look, she said Jackson and Fitz would finally be friends, and look, and.
Vanessa and Jackson interacted, and then Var just didn't show up for this game.
No, Var's in the middle of.
I'm just kidding.
Var's in the middle of moving right now.
They're in the middle of moving.
And it's a little stressful.
Just
right
very
now.
coincidental timing.
It's okay. We'll figure that out in the play. What happens with Vanessa? But thank you, Andromeda. I look forward to oddly enough an interview that VW is going to
with a vampire.
Yeah, an interview with a vampire is going to be happening. It's not going to be with Louis though.
Never read the book, never seen the movie. Let's go.
I thought you saw the movie already.
With us.
No, I made the joke that I couldn't wait to see it Friday because this is the.
Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, Brad Pitt couldn't. I couldn't pay Brad Pitt enough to revise that role, so
Not even now.
Not even now. I know, right? You think that he would just be jumping at any opportunity. Anyway, Michael.
Hey, my name is Michael. I play Jackson Preen, the vampire queen, the porcelain predator, peacock of glam rock, and shepherd of sin.
Yes, it got longer.
Yes, it's getting a little bit longer now. Just like his fucking... I couldn't think of anything. Anyway, that wasn't what it was going to be.
It doesn't work.
Just like your body count. Your body count. Your body count.
There you go. Body count. Thank you. I spent 15 XP just so it would. So nobody can make that joke anymore. He's a toreador. And his worst habit, in his mind,
Jackson
damn,
has flaws.
that's the thing, is I'm not sure that he does.
Oh.
I mean that's the thing is Jackson doesn't think he has flaws to him.
Yeah.
But to other people, it's like Jackson.
He thinks he's
has
perfect.
Flaws.
Jackson. I mean, in my mind, his worst habit is like
being too perfect. So hard.
Shut the fuck up. In my mind, his worst habit is isolating himself.
Mm-hmm.
In a way where he does kind of. He feels very, very much better than everybody else around him, and that is incredibly to his detriment. In his mind, that's just part of the allure. But he's maybe starting to realize that there's some not great things happening here.
Yeah, when you play hard to get in every aspect of your life, eventually people just stop coming around, and then you're sad.
They stop trying to get you.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, now the game's not fun anymore because I'm not being chased. So, thank you, Michael.
Who could have seen this coming?
I look very, very much forward to Jackson formally meeting somebody tonight.
What the fuck could that mean?
I don't know. You play the game and find out. Jesse.
I'll be here.
Hello, my name is Jesse, and I'm playing Fitz, the Malkavian of the group. And as far as Fitz's bad habit, I would say that Fitz never gives other people time to answer a question.
I think that's a very good flaw / bad habit that he has now.
Yeah, like it's probably happened in school too, where it's like, teacher would ask a question, he'd be the first one to have his hand up and answer it while he puts his hand up, that kind of thing. Like he just
Oh, you were so bad during philosophy
Hermione
class.
Granger.
yeah, just
Like you didn't let the other person say their half of the debate.
because they were wrong.
There's the old Fitz.
There's the old Fitz.
So I think that's Fitz's bad habit. He just doesn't give other people a word in edgewise when it comes to academia.
Academia. Well, considering that we might be delving into your old academia life, we'll see if somebody can get a word in on you.
I love Boku no Hero Academia.
Quit the
Boku
game.
no Hero.
Someone was wearing a shirt today, and it had the little Deku face, like, in the middle, and then they had, like, a hoodie up, so it was just, like, the face was staring at me the entire time I was dealing with them. I don't know. It was kind of creepy, but also cute.
Just see that little puff of green hair.
Little puff
Anyway,
of green.
thank you, Jesse. I look forward to what shenaniganry our Malkavian will be getting into next. Like I said before, Var, who plays our resident Bruja, is currently in the middle of moving to a brand new house. So that's cool and awesome and exciting. Wish them luck, and the Lord knows that moving is stressful. So now that we are done, and since the narrator is still reading through this mysterious email that they got, do the rest of you actually want to fill the audience in what happened last session?
Do you want me to do a recap? Have you learned yet?
The three of you can collaboratively do it, and then it'll be twice as short.
Andromeda starts.
Oh Jesus, where did we start last time? I only watched the end of the session to.
Where did you start?
Fitz woke up.
Mm-hmm.
He had been in a coma for 5 years, but actually not a coma, a vampire coma, known as torpor.
Steak-induced coma.
Yes.
Whenever I eat a big steak, though, that's how it feels.
His heart stopped. Yeah. He woke up, broke some shit, said some shit, drew on a chalkboard a lot, and told us that the fall of London is coming. We're like, Fitz, you're really being dramatic. Maybe you need another nap. And Fitz is like, I just woke up from a 5-year nap. And we're like, well, maybe we should put a stake back in you and make you take another one. And Fitz is like, no, I will explain all of this and why it is true. And then he did. Some people are believing it more than others. And then we all went to bed because that was a lot to take in. And then when we woke up, Fitz was like, I really want Jackson's necklace.
Yeah, so Fitz had been doing a thing where he was traveling the country because there were like these fucking artifacts or whatever the shit that he thinks are important for some fucking reason. Because he had a vision when he touched one in a church.
And what did he see, Michael?
Some funny little dudes in robes chanting and talking about some dipshit named Kane who they think is so important.
That wasn't the one he saw in the church, though.
I don't give a fuck. That's one of the ones he saw. The one that he saw in the church was like Catherine of something or other.
Catherine of Valois.
Oh,
Lady
I was going to say Aragon, and I don't think that's right.
And his sugar daddy.
And yes, and Lee, who had stolen these relics from the Camarilla, and had were like kind of shepherding them and shuttling them off into secret fancy hiding places all over the country. So these are relics of vampiric importance. And Fitz got his hands on one from the church and realized that, if they all look similar, Jackson's been wearing one around his neck the whole fucking time, which I didn't expect, but that was a fun twist.
Look, with everyone making the constant jokes being like, he has a relic.
Yeah. But Jackson didn't want to share his relic because it has deep personal family value, and also some stuff on it
Jackson
that
has daddy issues. He
does have daddy issues. He has bad daddy issues and mom issues. Anyway, he's got bad parents in his mind.
That's the greatest flaw.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, Fitz is bitching and moaning about getting this necklace and Jackson was pissed and he's like, no, I'm going to bed. And then the next day he's got this funny little thing where he can wake up an hour early, so he was just kind of sitting up being contemplative. drinking. He had a wine glass in his hand that he couldn't fucking do anything with. And eventually he was just like, look, I've been holed up in this dump for 5 years because I accidentally killed my sire's husband.
You definitely didn't. Okay, you accidentally killed your sire's husband. You purposely killed.
I purposefully killed a very dumb, bad person who accidentally happened to become to have been her husband.
Turns out to accidentally have been involved somehow maritally with her. And she ghosts me and doesn't let me go on tour with my freaking band. So he's all fed up. And he's like, oh, everybody fucking hates me anyway. So you know what, bitch? Fine. Take it. And then we'll see if you want me to go on your little girls' night later.
I don't like you anymore, Mom.
And he throws it at Fitz, and then he walks out. He goes off. He goes hunting.
Yeah, Fitz now has the object of that which he desires to investigate in, but he also has some errands to run. So he basically watched as Jackson and Vanessa both equally leave the locale to go hunt, and they just so happen to be walking in the same direction together. Both Vanessa and Jackson, who are right now they're cordial, but it's very tense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have
work associate, doesn't like you, but you have to be civil.
Yeah, they're working together because they have to. And so their relationship is not exactly great, but it's functional for the purposes for the purposes that they need. But they did walk in the same direction for a while and noticed that there was some shenaniganery happening, specifically immoral shenanigans done by some mortals that deserved punishment. And so both Jackson and Vanessa decided that they were going to, do a little street justice.
The ground.
Do a little street justice, and together they found common ground. You know what? There are some people who suck.
We both hate chavs.
Chavs?
Somebody doesn't watch enough British television.
Chavs.
So, so they decided that they had a moment, which was pretty sweet, and we were really excited about that because both me and Andromeda as Fitz and VW were equally just feeling like something happened. And it was good.
I can sense the disturbance in the voice.
Two hobbits lay here.
Well, there was a reason why VW didn't go with Vanessa.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a reason why VW didn't go. And Fitz did say, hey, I'm going to go meet up with Jeremy to find out what to do with this thingy-majiggy. And VW was like, would love to go, but I have some interviews with a vampire that I need to tend to. And
interview with a vampire.
And Fitz was like, okay.
Sounds fake. You have responsibility?
Sounds fake, but okay, and then leaves. So that is where we kind of left off.
That is pretty much where we left off. With the one caveat of after Jackson in his the end of his compulsion decided to take Vanessa and spin her around in the alleyway. They
were dancing in the blood.
They were dancing in the yeah, that's what it was. They were met at the foot of the alleyway. A woman, very well dressed, very pale, very kindred. But we'll get to that in a moment. Fitz.
Yeah.
And now, see, I know that you said that you wanted to go see Jeremy. But you can
what actually happened was it's morning and you're caught in the sun.
And you're burning to your final death. No.
That's how it sounds.
You can see Jeremy whenever you want. As far as you're concerned, Jeremy never left the zoo before. And according to VW, all you have to do is just send a carrier pigeon or a raven to get his attention.
Cool.
So, my question is that you've had a couple burning questions in the back of your mind ever since you woke up.
Yeah, why is my brain burning?
Why is your brain burning, and what happened to them? Your humans. The people that meant something to you before you were embraced and dragged away from your previous life. I know it sounds negative now. It was positive at the time because you thought you were in love, and now you're not so sure. So, my question to you is, do you want to find Jeremy and find out more about this new relic that you have sitting in your palm? Or do you want to go see possibly what might have happened to your touchstones?
Sure. I guess like Fitz would think about it in a rational and reasonable way and just sort of like make his way the sort of like path of least resistance, like, oh, I'll pick up the eggs along the way, you know, kind of situation. So like you know, kind of go in an order that makes sense to him. So like, let's go to school and then probably find out where one of my touchstones is, find out where the other one is based on that one touchstone, go out of school and probably walk towards the church, then probably the zoo, and then probably find that other touchstone. You know, sort of like, I'm just kind of...
What a deeply Malkavian way of thinking, because you don't want to be fucking walking around with eggs all night. You do that on the way home.
Yeah.
They're going to break.
It's not very logical of you.
Yeah.
At least you're not putting them all in one basket. But yeah, sure. That sounds good, Jesse. As far as you are concerned, school is still in session at King's College.
I mean, it is, after all, the winter of
It is
2025.
No, you've only been asleep for 5 years.
What?
It's 1978.
What do you think's happening in 2025?
Fucking, I don't know what's happening in 2025. Fucking.
I think that was optimistic, thinking that any colleges will still be open 5 years from now.
4.
4 years from now.
Oh, fuck.
You're right. Yeah, COVID just
Yuck.
stole a year of our lives. But yes, King's College is still in full swing in, I believe it is, October 11th? It's early October, mid-October. It's a little chilly right now. Did you do anything to change your state of dress?
Like put shoes on?
I know you put shoes on, but you were covered in glass and some bits of blood, and I do believe that the shirt that you were wearing has a big hole in it with a little bit more dried blood.
Nothing a nice sweater vest can't cover up.
Okay, so you acquire a sweater vest somehow.
Yeah. You know, the like the one with the diamonds? You know, that kind of pattern?
Oh, okay.
A stepbrother's ass Argyle sweater vest.
Yeah.
Sure.
We definitely kept all of Fitz's shit, so...
It smells a little musty, but it's okay.
Definitely smells a little musty. Based on how you saw everybody else was dressed, you might feel like it might be slightly out of fashion. Maybe if it had a big yellow tiger that said "Grr" on it, that might be a little bit more befitting of the time period. That's only for those of you who understand that sweater meme that was going around.
Meme.
That sweet sweater meme that was going around last year. But you get dressed properly and you head out to King's College. Definitely is a bit of a ways from where the Haven is. I'm assuming that you probably just take the tube.
Yes.
All right. You take your way up there. What time do you head over to King's College after your conversation with Jackson, VW, and Vanessa?
I mean, as early as I actually can. So, like, you know, we wake up at, you know, sunset.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how long it'll take us to have that conversation. No more than, you know, maybe 30 minutes or so.
Okay.
And then onto the tube I go. So it's probably like dinner time.
Yeah. We'll say it's like around like 6 or 7 o'clock. Don't ask me what time that is in military time. I'm not good with that.
1800.
1800. See,
Or 1900.
or 1900. You're right. And when you get to the college, it is actually still brimming with life, as opposed to the last time that you went there with VW. Considering that everyone was in finals weeks, and just kind of just turning in their final papers, presentations, and then absconding from the campus. Quick question for you. Do you want to blend in more with the humans around you?
Am I having difficulty doing that?
Yes.
Why?
Because you are at a level of humanity where your pallor is paler. And if you were to touch anyone, people would distinctly be aware that you feel like the ice crystals that are forming on some of the windows.
Why would I
nearby.
fucking touch anybody? That sounds like a weird person thing to do.
I mean, people might touch you. That's a problem.
I'm wearing sleeves. Anyway, what you're asking is, do I do a blush of life?
Correct.
Yeah, sure. Rouse the blood. Let's go.
Rouse the blood. Excellent. You do not get hungrier. Color flushes into your cheeks, and you even go so far as to kind of simulate looking a little chilly for only walking around in a sweater vest.
Brr.
Brr. I would like to ask of you, how do you go about in trying to find your old professor, Mr. Higgins?
The man is tenured. He has an office.
He does have an office. But the thing is that
So fuck you.
you are alumni. So what I would probably say is, as you're coming onto campus, how do you get through security?
There's no security. It's a fucking campus that's probably beautiful to walk in, and people do park stuff and fucking walk them with dogs and shit.
Mm-hmm. But to get into the building.
9/11 hasn't happened yet, Julian. There's no security anywhere.
Yes, there is.
No rules, just right.
You only need keys and shit to get in the dorms. Like, what?
So
Oh,
like,
I forgot it's England. They have guard dogs.
so I guess like there's a guard that's there.
Yeah.
They're wearing red with those tall, fuzzy black hats.
That's taking me out. Yes.
No. Essentially, you come upon one of the main buildings that you know where a lot of the professors' offices. Oh, don't mind me as I bang my mic. Where a lot of the offices are. And you'll see one man who is dressed in all black, who has the bit of the kind of the funny cap, with the kind of I forget like what they're called, like the different like shapes to the front of the cap or whatever. But he definitely looks like he is he's checking identification, essentially, as students kind of go by, and there's a bit of a murmur, and of course as you're kind of going by, you do actually roll for me.
I literally go.
Roll for me. What's an awareness?
Wits and awareness.
Oh. Is that a nope? You just failed. Maybe you don't care enough to listen to the rabble rouse. But eventually the one student gets by and they get in. And then the security personnel sees you coming up, kind of raises up a hand, says, "All right, where's your ID? Got new protocol."
I forgot my ID inside.
His eyes narrow at you. He says, "Yeah? Haven't seen you come in all day. Been here since..." He like looks at his watch and like he realizes how long he's been standing here. You can tell the man's bitter and cold.
So he's from London.
Yeah.
I've been here since 7:30.
Yeah.
In it.
Listen, if you ain't got your identification, come on back with it.
Oh, I don't have the time.
Well, I'm sorry. With people disappear around the campus, I can't be bothered.
Que interesante. What?
Kind of like leans back. He's like, "You haven't heard? It's been everywhere."
Everywhere.
2 bloody planes flew into the Tower of London.
Jesus. No.
Sorry.
What, have you been
Holy
living under
shit.
a rock for the past 5 years?
Everywhere, you say?
Yeah. You know, see the posters outside? And kind of he
He
shoves.
points to a poster of fucking Flynn Rider, and his nose isn't right.
His nose isn't right. No, he shoves a thumb over to one of the event boards, which normally kind of talks about like student activities and whatnot.
Murder is one of the activities.
Murder. And as you look over, you will notice that some of the foreign exchange students are missing, listed as missing, and that families of said individuals are willing to pay hefty amounts of rewards for any information on what might have happened to these people.
What's that got to do with IDs?
It's just the students disappear this way and that. I don't want the wrong people getting in. He kind of shoves a finger at you.
I'm not one of the wrong people.
Yeah, well, go get your ID. Is there anything you want to do, Jesse?
Sure, I'll make him forget.
Okay.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
You know what? Forget it.
Okay. Rouse my memory because I can't remember all of the abilities.
Cluttering the face, forget.
Julian, roll a rouse check.
The user can make a dominated victim forget the current moment as well as the last few minutes, enough to mask a superficial feeding or a chance meeting. No new memories are formed, and if pressed, the victim realizes that they have a few minutes missing. Cost, free, dice pools, charisma plus dominate versus wits plus resolve.
Oh, wits plus resolved. All right, it'll be easy. Okay, so go ahead and do your end.
Okay.
Okay. That's a 1.
Wow, I have shitty charisma. I just realized that. Anyway,
Can always raise it. Okie dokie. And okay, so I always do it towards the player. So you say forget, and it's almost he's just like fuck you, and like he just goes slack jawed, and he just kind of
just walk by.
Stares into the middle distance as you kind of drift on by, and this poor man will not remember your face.
I'll just jump out the window later.
Hey, who's that? And you go ahead and you head in. It is a bit of a walk to where the professor's offices are.
I don't remember this building being so large.
No, I mean, it's a fairly large. King's College is a fairly large campus.
Oh God, they have so many stairs.
This is a California King's College too, so it's a lot wider than you think.
California, San Francisco King's College. But yeah, you head up the stairs, and eventually you make your way to a plain wooden door with a wooden and gold accented plaque that says M. Higgins, psychology.
Got any top philosophy?
Yeah, he does teach philosophy.
He teaches philosophy.
Mm-hmm. You knock.
I don't know.
I didn't pick a law teacher because I thought that would be too
on the nose.
On the nose. Philosophy sounds cooler.
Is that how you knock?
Yeah.
You hear nothing for a moment, but eventually the door kind of creaks open, and you see the face of your professor. He looks older.
Who goes there?
He looks older. The gray has kind of gone more to white, and he looks a little bit distant, dazed. Might have a little bit of mustard on his beard. He might have been eating dinner. And he sees you, and his eyes kind of widen. And he kind of like opens the door more fully, and he says, "By Jove, Mr. Winters."
In the flesh.
More like a ghost. Where have you been? Come in. How'd you get past the guard?
Oh, I did not see a guard.
His brows kind of furrow deeply when you say that. And I'm saying, I'm going to have to put in a formal complaint about that. Well, go on then. Want some chips?
No, I already ate.
Oh. And kind of he leads you into a very simple looking office. You see mostly books, honestly, but the only other notable things within the space outside of the desk, 2 chairs in front of it and 1 chair behind it, and a simple fish and chips meal, is that you see a plethora of photos of Mr. Higgins and what you can presume to be his wife. And you used to go to Mr. Higgins' office quite frequently. And you can definitely tell that the main difference here... Are you doing that?
No.
Okay. The main difference that you see is that there are a lot more photos of her around. He sits down and kind of gestures for you to do the same. I say, you don't look different at all. In fact, you look exactly like how I left you.
Oh, you know how it is. Less stress equals less wrinkles.
Yes. Well, I still remember your final dissertation. It was quite remarkable. Fitzgerald, you never turned one in. Never turned one in. In fact, you never turned in any of your finals.
Quite!
Now, what do I owe the pleasure?
Oh, I have, sort of come back into town after some travel.
Ah, yes. The Winters family, being ambassadors and all. Is that what you, ended up doing?
No, not quite. I sort of took a bit of a break from law, but I am looking forward to kind of engaging in my ambassadorial, ventures.
You have a job? He looks like he's kind of like, not judging you, but he definitely looks like he's waiting to see if something came of you during all of this time.
Not something I can advertise quite yet.
Roll for me a persuasion check. With, I'll let you pick your best social stat.
That is manipulation and composure, so...
Yeah, it sounds about right.
I am rolling shit!
Oh, yeah, you are. Just remember, if you ever want to...
rouse the blood?
Yes, then you can get some more dice.
Sure. 1 success, though.
Do a blood surge, as one would. It's debatable whether or not he believes you, but he doesn't seem to be questioning you on any one particular thing. And he nods, and he'll say, well, times are, difficult here.
Missing foreign exchange students.
Oh, yes. That whole debacle. Some rumors about, a cult or something. I don't know. It feels like there's debates of cults and secret societies and magics that whisk people away.
No, that doesn't sound very academic of you to be speaking of.
Why do you think I don't believe it? He takes a quick drink, off to the side. You get the barest scent of alcohol.
Drinking on the job, are you? Don't you have a class in the evening?
Not anymore.
Not anymore? Why not?
They decided to truncate some of my classwork. But it is what it is. I get more time to my Myself. He falls quiet at that.
What, and you don't go home?
Oh no, I go home. There's just not much. There's not much there anymore. Agathine. There was an auto accident a couple years back.
Unfortunate.
No. Very unfortunate. We never found who hit the car.
Doubly so.
And if you care to, you can try to roll an insight check on him.
What else do I roll with it? Wits and insight?
Let's do intelligence and insight.
I am intelligent.
I think you're better at that. You're being more critical of him right now.
Tree!
You definitely get, like, you're looking him over as he kind of finally goes quiet. And Fitz, from this angle, you can see that Mr. Higgins looks a little bit gaunt. This is a man that always took care of himself physically. You could have sworn that, if it weren't for Sebastian talking about all of his vegetarian options and shit like that, you'd assume that he would have fallen into that line as well. Based on the fact that he is eating greasy food in his office, that he's drinking alcohol, and yet looks like he is gaunt and almost sallow-faced, it looks like the man is just suffering. And you can definitely tell that it's not suffering from the fact that students are disappearing. There's definitely suffering that justice was never truly served. And that in all of his efforts to push past his wife's death, that the man looks to be working himself to death.
Mr. Higgins, you look very unhappy.
That's quite presumptuous of you, but you're right. I'm not pleased.
The system got you down.
The system is made to get you down. No. I'm more mad at the fact that the system won't work in an old man's favor. If I could only find who did it.
Mr. Higgins, the system's there for a reason.
Well, yes. But what's law if it violates principles of justice? Those words resonate deeply within you.
I told you that I intend to come back and work here. Perhaps I can look into it.
Here as in King's College, or here as in back in London?
Here as in London.
No,
I can talk to Sebastian. I know he graduated, and we can see how we can make the law work for us.
Sebastian. He kind of he leans back and he starts doing the old man brush the beard thing with his hands, and you can tell that he's trying to remember who this was.
Sebastian, classmate of mine, always sat next to me in philosophy. Vegetarian?
Right.
Always
One
pushing that tofu.
Falafel and all that. Not sure if... have you checked in with...
Haven't yet.
From what I remember, they got a law firm and with another graduate, Callahan and McKenna. I haven't heard anything else really about it, though.
Mr. Higgins, justice is quite important to both of us. I know that for a fact. And it is a damn shame that justice had not been served.
Well, yes, but unfortunately I'd have no leverage over the law or justice in these parts.
No, but I do.
He creases a brow at that. Well, I don't know what sort of work you've gotten yourself into, Mr. Winters, but...
Very good work.
Right. He nods, he kind of gives you another, look over, wondering why you don't have a coat on. Well, if you manage to find anything about Akathene, I'd be willing to hear it.
Good. And let's do some sort of, promise and exchange, if you will. Okay? And Fitz will reach over very, and snatch that glass of alcohol.
It's more like a flask.
Well, snatch that flask and realize he sort of opens as if he's going to put it in an inside coat pocket, realizes he doesn't have a coat. He said, I'm going to hold on to this. None of this until justice is served. And I promise you, justice will be served.
He goes a little red in the face, but you kind of pointing out the alcohol kind of serves an embarrassing washing over being, maybe kind of sober. And he nods in a huff. He's like, all right, well, give me the flask back at least that's worth something.
Oh, no.
Dump it off in the bathroom then and then give it back.
Just dump it out the window, it's closer.
You go and you pop open the window and you hear Mr. Higgins almost make sounds in protest, but you dump the
It's like bap bap just
you dump the whiskey and it hits the security guard in the head and it startles him out of his daze. And at that point we're going to shift scenes. Jackson.
Oh, yay.
Jackson.
It's you.
Happy days.
It's you.
What a terrible night to have a curse.
What a terrible night to have a dance moment in an alleyway. You just got done.
Just dance.
You just got done doing a big flourish with Vanessa. And the only thing that draws you out of your compulsion is the sound of high heels on cobblestone at the foot of the alleyway. You see a woman. She is in the conga if you so wish to look at her, but I will describe what she looks like. She almost looks like she's of Italian descent. She's got wavy brown hair, some very well-to-do earrings, almost wearing like a pin, it's called a pencil pin, pencil line skirt. She looks very professional. Black tights. Her outerwear is all black with the exception of a gold necklace and a couple red baubles coming from it. She herself smirks towards you with hazel eyes, and she'll say, "Interesting. Come with me."
Sorry, love.
Her head kind of tips ever so slightly to the side, and you see the street lights pick up on her eyes. And in that moment, you know there is another kindred in front of you.
Hi.
Vanessa eases back from you, almost, I dare say, probably embarrassed by the flourish. And before she can say anything, there is another voice coming down from the opposite end of the alleyway. And Jackson, if you turn to look, you will see a dark-skinned woman with bleached, curly, kinky hair and green eyes. You've never seen this woman before, but considering the hushed tones of, Nessie, come here. We gotta talk about something really important. Gem's not great. You hear the word Gem, and you know who Gem is. They've come many times to the disco. And regardless of whether or not how you feel about caitiffs, on how you feel about Thin Bloods, Vanessa is rather close to this individual because of the Hunt Club. Vanessa turns and says, "You can deal with this."
Yes, we'll meet you back at the club, I suppose.
And she kind of heads off quickly with this other young kindred, leaving you with this woman who has already turned on a heel and has kind of done a two-finger gesture for you to kind of follow.
He is, of course, intrigued, because anybody wearing heels on the shitty fucking streets of Soho knows what they're doing. So he will cautiously saunter along. She
walks with like flawless grace through these streets, which is saying a lot, considering that not only is there the cobblestones, there is like this perpetual dampness, in the streets. Whether or not it's alcohol, vomit, piss, or a combination of all three, you don't know. On top of all,
could be water. Could be. Who knows?
God forbid. I mean, it could be. It does rain a lot over there. But she seems to avoid any amount of like ick. And she'll say, "Haven't seen your type before in my parts. My name's Mary. What's your name?"
"Mary. Very nice to meet you. Jackson Preen."
She kind of like quirks.
I was gonna help. I was hoping you were gonna say the rest of it.
He hasn't officially employed any of these titles besides the Peacock of Glam Rock, so it's just not as impressive.
That's fair. You say the name, and she creases a brow at that. She goes, "Huh, that would have made a good name, good star name. I see that you have taken to ruffling up some of the ne'er-do-wells of my area, my garden." She says garden.
Quite a charming garden. Don't exactly see much plant life, but to each their own. Just a bit of sport. Tell me, what sort of garden is this?
She smiles ever so slightly, and you can see, like past like the coiffed of hair, you see through very perfectly painted lips a bit of a fangy grin. Her fangs are pretty big. And she goes, "Really? You wandered into her garden, subsequently my garden, and you don't even know where you are. Interesting. I thought I pegged you for one of us for a moment, until I didn't recognize you."
One of you?
One of hers. And she stops before a door, presumably one of the nicer buildings in the Soho area. Again, this is a place that's meant for Hollywood movies, as much as it is a red light district.
Right.
And on the door you see like a very well made wooden and metal plate that says Venus Nights on it. If you want,
would I have any fucking knowledge of this?
I guess like based on Jackson's proclivities, probably, maybe. Go ahead and roll for me. Let's do wits and You know,
Let's say streetwise.
you got performance though, right?
I do have performance.
Okay. We'll say this is more of an intelligence and performance, and this is going to be at a 3 difficulty because this might be slightly out of your wheelhouse.
Got it. Intelligence and performance. Let me look at my funny things and see if I get any modifiers. I doubt it.
I don't think so.
Embrace the stereotype. I need to look at what these are again. Yeah, no, this isn't like a social anything. Intelligence.
Ooh,
motherfucker.
Good job. Not a messy critical. But you definitely know what this is, and like the moment you see the logo, and Venus Nights is a pornographic studio. Though the difference between Venus Nights and most other pornographic studios that you might have been aware of, maybe you thought about doing that before you got into music, because I mean you totally could have if you wanted to.
Easily, yes.
But you know that Venus Nights is actually a lesbian specific pornographic studio. That caters to the female. It caters to the female gaze and not the male gaze.
Female focused pornography.
So,
all right.
And considering probably the stuff that you've seen, that's kind of rare in more ways than one.
For women,
70s porn was weird. Let me just say that.
Whatever allowed Ron Jeremy to get popular was weird.
Yeah. And she smirks back towards you and she goes, "Sorry, this might not exactly be your type."
Venus Night. I'm quite a fan of your work, morally speaking.
She kind of...
Aesthetically, I suppose.
She quirks a brow at that and she goes, "Well, I can appreciate those who appreciate art." And she nudges the door open and allows you to come on in. You go up a flight of stairs, and you're essentially brought into a space that you can tell is definitely used for numerous sets, but it definitely is also set up to be like a living space. And she'll kind of gesture about, and she'll go, "Welcome to my garden. Lilith's garden." The key phrase tingles your ears. "I deal in women who have suffered in the porn or sex industry, who still want to use their bodies for a paycheck, but in a safer environment, of course."
How very bohemian. Tell you what, we happened to run into one such woman, I think, earlier in the night. What you saw was the aftermath of a intervention of sorts.
Oh,
I'll
saw
have to go back.
all of that. She kind of like takes a seat on one of the couches where you're sure that things happen on that couch, but probably probably very clean. She takes a seat on one of those couches and she crosses her legs and kind of rests an elbow on the knee, and she's looking very fascinated towards you. "Now, I'd like to ask why little buds of Lilin are doing in her garden. I can tell that there's pieces of her within you, resonance. But for what reason?"
I'm afraid I'm not entirely sure what you're getting at. We're both kind, clearly.
Oh, let me guess. You're still a fledgling.
Regrettable.
It's all right. We all start as fledglings one way or another. Let me guess. Let me give you a good look. And she kind of she leans over and she squints a bit. You get up earlier than most. You go to bed later than most. And you still want to keep your physical inhibitions about you.
I just thought that was force of will, to be honest.
If you want to fake it.
Lilith, you said?
The Dark
As in
Mother.
biblical consort of Satan, etc., etc.
Or you could associate her with Astaroth, Ishtar. There's a lot of different words that she goes by. Depends on which myth you
First
believe in.
woman.
Absolutely the first woman. Let's be honest here, kid. Adam was a dick.
He had a dick, and that was the only good thing about him.
And then we evolved.
It's
We
that
discovered rubber and plastic.
it's that fucking Cher video where she says, "Men are like desserts. You don't need them. Do you hate men? No, I love men. I just don't think they're necessary." It's a great Cher interview.
Yeah.
It's like that other Cher video where she plays every part in West Side Story.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
That's
Please watch
cool.
it.
I want to watch that now.
It's rough, but it's fucking
so...
funny. Anyway,
Jackson's like, but I'm a man.
But I'm a man.
oh, he's barely a man.
He's an icon.
So I ask again.
He's an idea, darling.
Unless you're truly answering the call of pain and suffering and the uplifting from that, you do look you have suffered a little bit. Not a lot. That might sting a little bit, Jackson, in her saying that.
Yeah.
Unless you have reason to be in my garden. Well, I guess I can thank you for helping some future workers.
Pleasure was mine. And I'll tell you the truth, I thought I'd just come down here for a nice time. But something does sound true about all of that.
About the Bahari.
I'm afraid I'm not familiar with the term.
It's the term for those of us who believe more in Lilith as the Dark Mother, the true first kindred, as opposed to, say, she gets a little bit distant, Cain.
Cain was just a mortal with a grudge.
More
We've
like
all killed in passion before, haven't we?
more like a little boy that had been, daddy issues.
Don't we all?
Again, that might sting a little bit, her saying that.
Yeah, maybe a bit.
A little boy.
Especially because he doesn't have his fucking necklace right now to ground him.
That's true. I mean, Fitzgerald technically freed you of your daddy issues. You don't need to hang on to it. They're coming back. Oh no.
Daddy issues gone.
But Jackson, I will say that from last session, you and Vanessa went there for the intent of perhaps stirring the pot of some Sabbat members, specifically the Bahari, to see if you could possibly find information about the weird vision Fitz had.
Yeah. Member of our Coterie just got out of a 5-year stake-induced coma.
Did they deserve it?
Debatable, but it's over now.
Did they
We got
suffer?
better.
Did they suffer through it?
As far as I could tell, it freed them from quite a lot of inhibition.
You can see her interest waning the moment you say that.
Though the only reason I mention it is because he spoke of odd things, child of Malkov and all that. But
I'm so sorry.
it's quite all right. If only he didn't bleed all over the floor every time he came home. In any case, mentioned what I thought, yes, to be the Bahari. And I did think that, well, it might be interesting to learn a little bit more about that.
The Malkavian spoke of us.
In very vague terms.
do tell. They do spin quite fantastic stories that are great to adapt in other media. What did he say?
Mostly a lot about eating snakes and the debatable nature of how long it was that he was in a coma, but he had visions. Visions of the fall of London. And somehow the Bahari were involved or something like that.
Oh, little bud. She uncrosses and crosses to the other leg. If you're talking about snakes, as much as Lilith sometimes is given the vision of a snake, that's not what we're about. You must be mistaken.
I don't think I am. Two sides, a snake, a jackal, I recall.
She smiles and she kind of like taps her lip to keep herself from interrupting you. Mm-hmm.
The ramblings of a madman, which is why I'm here, to see what I could find out.
Mm. Tell me, little bud, where do you hail from? What side of the triad are you? You're certainly not on ours. Meaning the sabbat.
Yeah. Well, I'm certainly not on Her Majesty's.
No, that's a shame. She has her uses.
Bit too constricting.
Well, the guard dog anarchs are only so good as the pen that they're allowed to run around in. Don't you want to be free?
Isn't that the truth?
She smiles again. You and I might be able to have some form of a working relationship. But before I can help buds fully bloom into the wonderful flowers that they're always meant to be, there's something that's actually plaguing my little garden. More so than the idiots getting drunk in my streets. Are you interested?
I'm all ears.
She smiles towards you. You see, there have been people, humans, who have been disappearing. Consumers, some part-time performers, men and women. Considering that you and your cute little friend who ran off, since you two look like you are little investigators, why don't you go ahead and find out why these people are missing and the source, whether or not I need to rebrand or relocate.
Is the worry that the consumers are being consumed? Or have you got other ideas?
Well, that's up for debate. If I actually knew they were being consumed, there would be some sort of evidence. But these people are just disappearing. At least as far as I can tell. They typically, from what I've been gathering, they typically disappear on the weekends. So you might have to wait a couple days. She checks like her very fine golden watch that she has.
That has the date on it, apparently.
No, it's just like, it's more like a, it's just a gesture.
I'm just kidding. I know.
I forget what day. I think it's Tuesday.
I think you're right, yeah.
What day is it? Conca, load. It doesn't matter. It's during the week.
Yes.
And she
it's sometime between Monday and it's like Monday or Tuesday.
It was like Monday or Tuesday or something.
Exactly.
Closed, and
it's not the weekend.
It's not the weekend. So basically what she's offering is that if you can find out why people are disappearing and what is making people disappear, she might be interested in giving you the information that she's clearly holding from you. And you can definitely tell that she's not talking about, or whatever this vision your friend had, it's Monday by the way, that she doesn't believe it to be anything to do with the Bahari.
Okay.
But
yeah, go ahead.
That
please.
does require you to do some investigating on the weekend. typically when you're working.
Vampire weekend. Shit.
So just something to think about. You don't have to. You have a couple days to worry about that.
Okay.
Stinky.
But he will smile and nod and pleasantly accept the quest.
Wonderful. Well, unless you want me to give you some sort of forwarding to a mail studio.
Won't be necessary. I've got my own representation. You should really drop by the club sometime. And he'll whip out a gilded business card.
That shit's probably expensive to get made back then.
Hell yeah, dude.
She twists it around and she goes, "Oh, does Queen Anne know about this kind of logo you have going on?"
I'd imagine she's aware.
She smiles towards it. "I'll consider it."
It could do with a woman's touch. A real woman, not the children I go running about with.
Oh, don't say that. That was a fine woman that ran off earlier.
She's
Yes, I'm sure she is.
Shame. Anyway.
BW's like, why wasn't I here? And Drama's like, why didn't I go? I could have seen this MILF.
They have to deal with the next scene that's going to happen after this.
Oops.
But yeah, she will. She'll basically take you to the door, and she'll even so much as far as give you like some locations where people have been seen disappearing to kind of give you an idea of maybe where to start to look. It's clear that she can't be bothered to look herself. And that might be because of some sort of ruling within the Bahari. Or it might even have something to do with the Camarilla side that clearly she seems to be associating herself with.
Right. And when she said her garden, like the royal her, is it clear that she's talking about Lilith, or is there another vampire above her based on what I'm gleaning?
All of the gardens are Lilith's gardens, though it could also be taken that the Lilin, who are the participants within the Bahari, they themselves can have their own gardens. So
this is her garden for her.
Yes. And this is not a stereotypical green garden. This is a garden of, physical delights and all that shit. So that's basically what you get from that. It's kind of hard to tell if she's talking about herself or her.
You're right. But she's clearly in charge of this place. She's not somebody's secretary.
Yes.
Or second in command, yeah.
She is definitely the one that is in charge of Soho as the garden.
Sick. Cool. He will make note of that and probably not wait till the weekend to look into things, hoping that he can resolve it before then. But if I need to literally watch somebody get fucking snatched off the street, then that is a bridge I will fall off later.
Okay, sure. But for now, the night is getting along, and you can make your way back. I'll definitely
but I can make my way back an hour later than everybody else does.
That's true. You could, if you really
if I wanted to.
You have to show up when Angela's there so we can have a funny.
Okay, if I show... Okay, never mind. I'm going home now. I've been back 2 hours ago.
Sure. So, moving on. VW.
That's my name.
Up at the club. Over the past several months, on top of your arcane research that you've been given a task by both Count and Reason to go about and finding other allies and potential kindred to convert to the way of the Anarch movement. We kind of touched on this a little bit last session. You and Vanessa have been working towards getting some prospects, it's been hard. It's truly been difficult for you. Maybe it's just because like you're not saying the right things, or they want more, and you're not sure how much you can really give them. And unfortunately, the Baron's not exactly clearing up his schedule to see every single person that you would love for them to see. But regardless, you have one individual that is agreed to see you, by the name of Angelo Novacek, or Navasek, I should say. As I had mentioned previously, in last session, he is a Ravnos, who is a clan of kindred who unfortunately cannot stay in one place for too long. And the cool thing about that you found out about him is that
he's got to leave soon. Whoops. Oh well.
is that he was embraced at Woodstock, and that he used to be a guitarist. And that unfortunately he doesn't know who his sire was. But having an interest in mysticism and music, the disco is definitely a place for those sort of things.
You know, I might have a thing that might help me find out someone's sire if he wants to, you know, do that. I was just saying, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Do that shit on your own time. You are on my clock right now.
But yeah, like I had mentioned before, Ravnos typically can't stay within like a mile radius of where they rest for the day for more than one night. Otherwise, some bad stuff happens, like spontaneously combusting. But he comes down towards the disco. He comes back a little bit later than you might have intended. Kind of like almost like you were expecting him to show up maybe at like 7 or 8 o'clock, and he doesn't show up until like probably like 1:15.
Ooh.
I'm just there spinning on a bar stool, like
that's all you've been doing. But eventually the door pops open, the front door, and you'll see Benji there, kind of short, squat, doesn't look like he's aged at all, but then again, he is a ghoul. And he goes, "Oi!
Oi?
Oi! We got something here. Did you ask somebody to come here?"
Yeah, is he like
Tall, dark,
yeah.
kind of handsome. Is this a boyfriend?
Got Benji's guy.
No, he's asking if he is VW's boyfriend.
Oh.
I ain't ever seen this one before. And he don't look, you know, Jackson's or Vanessa's type.
He's a recruit, just send him.
We're recruiting more people. What is he gonna be, a new guitarist?
He is a guitarist, actually, but no, just.
Are we allowed in? You kind of you hear from behind Benji, and you kind of straight up, "Oh, yeah, go on there. You're allowed in from the missus." The missus. You hear.
Benji, you don't have to call me that. We've talked about this.
And
actually,
the door like opens enough, and you see Angelo there. He definitely looks like he is wearing some kind of like pseudo like biker gear. You can probably tell that that's probably his main form of transportation. But he actually has something strapped to his back, a guitar.
Oh. I was waiting for something else.
No, it's a guitar. Based on its shape, it's an acoustic guitar. And as he kind of like looks around, and he goes, "I didn't realize that you were the missus."
Not really. I mean, I feel like Vanessa's higher up than I am, but I mean, Benji's just really respectful. But hi, I was kind of thinking you weren't gonna show up, but I'm glad you're here.
No, I was, you know, hunting. And he shrugs. He goes, it's sometimes hard to find the right place.
Yeah, if you need somewhere to, spend the night, I probably have a few locations in the area that are, safe, for a night at least without.
Oh, no, it's that is fine. I can find plenty of places to rest my head, but I appreciate that coming from you. And you can definitely you can tell that he's a little on edge. Roll for me wits and insight at a probably say at a 3 difficulty.
Wits and insight.
Winsight.
Does my specialty in empathy count?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Is that 2 dice or 1? I can't remember.
1 dice.
1 dice. Because I never get to use it, so. Oh, crying out loud, Jesus.
Do you want to spend a point of willpower to re-roll 3 dice? 3 normal dice?
I might as well.
Yeah, go for it.
Come on. Okay, yeah.
Okay, cool. You can tell immediately that he is looking for one of your other Coterie members. Like, not in a I hope to see them, but more in a I hope I don't see them. Jackson, quick question. Do you think that the situation with Rosalind that happened, do you think that would have been something Jackson would have brought up to Vanessa and VW?
Not once.
Not once. Okay.
Not a chance.
Okay.
But it's something that he remembers vividly.
To be fair, I don't think it happened all that long ago, if I remember correctly.
Neither. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Not to get in the way of our conversation, but the angry blonde, the one with the frilly feathers.
He's been asleep.
No.
Oh, Jackson.
Yes.
No, we have the whole place to ourselves tonight. Actually, everyone's out on their own business, so.
Oh, good. I was not anticipating getting chewed out by a toreador with problems in not marking his meals. And he comes over to
wanted to suck her blood. I don't know what to say.
Shut up. Michael, I'm trying really hard with this Eastern European accent.
I'm kidding.
Joke was there.
I just hate him, so.
This man was at Woodstock?
He was at Woodstock.
Yeah. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, have you met Jackson before then? Have you stopped by during hours?
Oh, well, he kind of goes over to the bar, kind of rolls off the guitar and kind of sets the full case down onto it. Oh, well, you had mentioned it at least a couple of times, so I wanted to, let's see what it was all about. And unfortunately, the little lamb that I had looked upon, unfortunately, she did not have any sort of markers on her. So I unfortunately intruded on their meal. If you're curious, roll for me intelligence and occult.
It's like Jackson just has so many women.
Yeah, to be fair.
It's like
And men.
And men.
Everybody
no,
loves
you
Jackson.
killed him. You killed Chad.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's been 5 years. I could find somebody else twice as hot and double the dumb.
I can find myself a brat.
Pick yourself up some double mint gum. But with that role, VW, you're definitely within the 5 years of you being a kindred, you definitely know that there are certain traditions within kindred society that come up with marker systems to basically be indicators of this is mine, don't touch it. Be it tattoos, jewelry, clothes. There's usually some sort of symbol to indicate that that person is someone else's stock. And I will say, regardless of whether or not Jackson probably intends for it, Jackson's herd, or flock in this case, has a very cohesive look about them. I probably would go to say that they probably all have some kind of rose icon on their person. So, or whatever symbol you want it to be, Michael. It can truly be up to you.
I'll think on it.
Okay, but you definitely know that the herd has that look, and never once has anyone ever tried to mess with those individuals. So clearly this person is a person that wasn't one of them. So clearly this is a new person that you don't know about.
I will probably say he never mentioned the incident with Rosalind, but he's probably, I was going to say, in 5 years, he might have mentioned her. Probably only to VW.
Okay. Do you want to kind of say how much you might have told VW about Rosalind?
I mean, I think it kind of depends on whatever the situation is. Just a very sweet girl, a fan of mine.
Yeah, my number one fan.
There you go.
My number one OnlyFans. Yes.
What?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you spit out everywhere. Number one fan. So you know that maybe that's them? You don't know. Or maybe it was Mirage.
Yeah, because Mirage isn't part of, like, the flock anymore. She's like...
Yes, but you also know that Jackson doesn't feed off of her anymore.
Yeah.
So...
He doesn't feed off Rosalind either, but I don't know that shit. I don't know anything. My head's so empty.
You're just like, oh, I'm already in over my head.
I mean, I know Jackson has, like, this little flock, but I thought, I mean, they all have, like... I'll talk to him about maybe working on that.
Oh, no, it didn't really appear that she was a part of any one group. She looked quite lonely. I wasn't going to hurt her. If you want to tell him that, just simply get my drink and move on.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but I'm sure Jackson will know, like, whatever it was, so...
She, her name was Rosa. Or at least that's what she told me.
I don't know, I know a Rosalind.
He kind of shrugs, as if to say maybe one and the same.
But, my apologies, we can, get to business if you wish.
Well, yeah, of course. Well, I know you haven't exactly brought up, but if you did possibly want to find, you know, your sire, I figure while you're here for the night, I could maybe do something to look into that for you. I mean, it would take a little bit of time, but...
As much as I have come to understand Ravnos, we tend to not stay in one place for too long. I would suppose that my sire came and went like a summer breeze.
Well,
Like a fart in the wind.
Oh, I wouldn't exactly know where they are or anything like that. I kind of would just be able to figure out who they are. Maybe. I haven't exactly done it before.
That is
But I mean,
that is kind, but I don't think I'm too particularly interested in uh, digging at old wounds. I've had time to get over that.
And he paps his guitar case.
I suppose what else would I achieve or get for giving support to the Anarch movement?
well, protection, particularly. Like I know you move around a lot, and that's not really a big deal. Baron's not going to, keep you contained to one spot or anything. Just, keep tabs, and if he needs something, he might reach out, and then, in return, we stick together.
Sort of like a loosely cohesive net.
Kind of like a gosh, they haven't used the term in a while. What is it? One of those, a bunch of people who live together, and then in one of those
Commune.
Commune, yes.
A sitcom, yes.
Well, I'm not really interested in a commune, but I suppose having friends in some places might be beneficial. Don't know how that's different from the Camarilla, but
The Camis, as Jackson calls them. They have a lot of rules, particularly, and as far as I'm aware, they kind of aren't fans of the Ravnos. I don't.
absolutely not. No,
Yeah,
we might as well be thin blood or caitiff in their eyes. They tend to blame the Ravnos for some of their discretions. Dare I say, some of their mistakes, but
Kind of like looks around briefly as if to kind of check to see if anyone else is listening.
I guess the question is protection and assets, resources. They don't typically come free. What does your Baron want with me?
Would I know particularly, or was I just told by the Baron to kind of recruit people to the Anarchs, or did he give a hint as to why he wants me to recruit?
I guess the question would be, did you ever talk to Counin about this individual, period?
I don't know if VW is keeping him up to date on who she's talking to because she's been failing.
That's okay. So that's debatable. Yeah. If you don't feel like you've talked to Counin about this, then you have zero clue what he might want of him. So
somebody who travels is great.
Well, do I know what he's been calling Jeremy for, or has he called for Jeremy at all?
I will say, in regards to Jeremy, you know that Jeremy is a little annoyed that Jeremy has not been embraced yet. You can definitely get the sense that Jeremy is kind of like on call to give information, insight, and whatnot when requested. But it doesn't feel any different than how perhaps the Camarilla were treating Jeremy. So that's what you kind of know. You also know that nothing bad has happened to Jeremy since talking with the Baron. So if there was any kind of like worry that the Camarilla would up and deal with him, that hasn't happened yet. But you definitely know that Jeremy is kind of like on call. Mm-hmm. So in this case for Angelo, you might have to get creative in thinking about what sort of purpose can he serve for the Anarchs, and use that in this very important persuasion roll.
Screams.
Use your brain.
No, sorry. In my
Andromeda.
head, I was mentally going over who we know that Jackson has in his band because we know of Darian guitarist Jackson. They new drummer is Omen, and then there's apparently other people that I don't know about who exist, but they.
Oh, darling, I don't fucking know about them
Yeah,
either.
exactly. Is there someone who could easily be replaced with a new guitarist? Like I know sometimes there's multiple guitars, like there's basses, yada 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 yada. I play clarinet. I don't fucking know. But
for Shiggles, roll for me in regards to you having maybe assessed the band previously. Roll for me intelligence and investigation at a 2 difficulty. Okay. VW, because you know that you spoke with Darian to deliver that very important secret thing, you've spoken with him a lot, especially enough to convince him to have done what you asked him to do. You know that there is some sense of despondence, displeasure, boredom within the disco. You feel like, at least in recent months, that you feel like there's something that is calling him possibly away from the disco, but you don't know exactly what.
oh God, I don't want to replace Darian. Good God, but I mean, same time.
I've got plans with Darian. He can't leave now.
Jesus Christ.
How do you feel about
What?
keytars?
I hear guitars are in now. No, Jesus Christ.
Not yet. Give it a
Well-
couple years.
I mean, if I talk to Jackson and smooth things over,
That was going to be my next question. Is he going to be a problem? I don't want to intrude. An angry Toreador is never one that you want to really
No,
deal
he's-
with. They're
he's
quite
just-
annoying.
a bit upset lately because he hasn't been able to go on tour and the like, but if you were to take up a position in the band, then you would kind of have to go on tour and the like. So if you're comfortable maybe stopping by on occasion to play here and going on tour, I mean, I haven't heard you play, but I mean, I would love to.
Okay, you say that. Roll for me. You're gonna have to do a persuasion, and
Oh my God, he's got an acoustic guitar. He's waiting for an excuse to whip it out in front of
Exactly.
literally no one.
Exactly.
yeah,
Difficulty -2.
he go ahead and roll for me your persuasion and your best social stat. You can blood surge if you want. I'm definitely gonna say that this is gonna be challenging. So this is gonna be 4 successes because he is very wary of Jackson.
Well, Jackson can fuck right off.
Look, he had a very threatening voice before this session.
Did you blood surge?
I did not.
Oh,
That
so,
was-
so you didn't want to?
I mean, now that I failed, I want to.
Spend more willpower.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to do the blood surge before you
No,
roll.
I'll
Spend the willpower. Okay, so roll.
I never fucking use my willpower, so let's like do
Yeah.
it.
Roll 3d10.
Looking for 1.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
damn. Roll another D10.
No.
Oh, that's a critical then.
Yes, they get a critical. So that's now
It's not a messy critical, but it is a critical.
So that's okay. So 3.
I'm really good at
4.
convincing people to play
So
guitar
4.
for me.
Doesn't that also mean a compulsion?
4. No. That would be a messy critical. But they didn't get one on the hunger die. So wait. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes you got. So you
Crit is an extra success.
Yeah. Well, remember 2 10s is 4 successes.
Fuck.
Yeah. So
This is what
Oh, so then it's more than that.
Willpower.
It's
Good
it's
things
1, 2, 3,
happen.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 successes. So regardless, you sailed over the threshold. And maybe he did really want to play. Maybe that's why he brought the guitar. And when you say, I'd love to hear
Don't
you
twist
play.
my arm or anything, but here's Wonderwall.
And he goes, oh, I mean, I'm not really that good, but
Oh my god. Oh my god.
and he pops open the guitar, and you see, obviously it's acoustic, but you definitely see something that is very beautiful and ornate. You see like handcrafted like wooden like flowers and filigree and whatnot. It clearly looks like this is some sort of family heirloom from the old country. And he's like, I haven't played this in a while, but this was the guitar I used that brought me into this mess. So and he kind of like
Here, come, go up on the stage. Come on, I'll get you a chair. And she's gonna like drag a fucking bar stool onto the stage.
Oh, I haven't been on the stage and... Oh, all right then.
Oh man.
he goes over there and you set up the stool and he starts playing. And I will say that this is music that you have not heard before. This does not sound like stereotypical 1970s folk music. This doesn't sound like something that really fits rock music. This sounds like this man is playing from his soul, from times long since past, specifically from Eastern Europe. So there's a very quick cadence, and he kind of jumps back and forth in terms of tempo. But regardless, he plays remarkably well. And you feel like maybe this is kind of unfair because Darian's human. Darian is also very good as a human, but there's something about this guy that is different. And these tones of music, of acoustic bliss, is what you walk into, Jackson. You walk back into your club.
This man is on your stage.
He's sitting on your stage with a spotlight on him, playing music which is beautiful, mind you. Like, as a toreador...
Maybe that's what makes Jackson extremely upset, is that it's good music.
Actually,
he's like, come on.
Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Roll for me all of your unspent willpower.
Oh no!
What the fuck does that mean?
Roll your willpower with all the willpower that you have left. Okay. So you do well.
He spends more of my willpower in case I get asked this question. Like, what the fuck?
Okay, so you managed to bite back.
Was that a frenzy or something?
This was going to be to trigger a clan bane.
Fuck.
Because
you like
toreadors are obsessed with art and beauty, and this man is definitely producing both beauty and art. But then you see his face, and you remember that this is the guy that was probably going to murder your touchstone. So, and that ruins everything. And you manage to quell that obsession, and you see VW. I'm assuming she's standing. Did she get another chair to watch? Like, where is she?
She might have dragged like a chair into like the middle of like the floor to like watch, or she popped a squat. Like literally, she probably popped a fucking squat because it was too much effort to drag another chair.
Okay, so Jackson, what do you do?
So I have oh fuck, I don't have any stealth. I also don't have the funny fast celery skill.
Let me balancing shit.
Yeah. I'm going to look at some of my other things really quick.
That's okay.
Knock him over really quick.
You do that. I'm gonna do the same.
God damn it.
I have a fight right now. Like... And maybe
oh damn it.
the one that saves me.
No, Wonderwall is not played right now.
Oh my god, I love.
I love Wonderwall.
Yeah, let me fucking goddamn it. Okay, abilities. Shit, I don't have anything fun.
You have your scary thing that you used on him before.
I do have my scary thing.
You were like, "Fuck you." You're like,
But I would want to be very close to him to use my scary thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it, I'll just slam open the door in shadow and
Sit
use
up
my
and-
scary. I'm gonna use my my dread gaze.
Okie dokie.
you've answered.
Can you refresh mine and the audience's memory on how Dread Gaze works?
Briefly exposing their vampiric nature, the user instills a single subject with utter terror. Mortals are cowed, run, or freeze with fear, while other vampires either submit like whipped dogs or flee in frenzied Rotschreck, which I don't know what that means. I do arouse, and then we're going to fight. You have to roll composure and resolve. And then there are results based on how shit happens. So I have to rouse.
Okay.
Bring this up.
You are hungry right now?
Migungi.
You goongy.
And
That's what you get.
Ooh.
5 successes.
That is good. Okay, well, let's see if Homeboy does well here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
I believe in you.
Get bent, loser. Stop rolling.
you still beat him by 1.
Okay.
So the music kind of stops, like you hear the strings pull tight, and VW, this is very startling because why would all this beautiful music, stop? And you kind of look up and you see Angelo's dark eyes, and his pupils kind of like are pinpricks looking at the door. And you turn around and you see
A silhouetted stick with red eyes.
and you will hear, "Oh no, I shouldn't have come here. This is a bad idea."
Jackson, I didn't know you were coming back. Stop that.
Didn't know I was coming back to my own club.
Jackson, and
So you thought you'd sneak this one in without my knowledge?
I think VW is going to, like, for the first time, like, knowingly fucking do red eyes. Like,
Do you have any presence?
no,
Skills?
God, where is it?
Fight me,
I'm
bitch.
I'm not in me right now. I'm in Angelo. I haven't used it in 84 years. It's literally like called B-size or something, but I can just make my fucking eyes red.
Oh, right. This is so you can this is like
The thing that got Gavin to come and try to kill her later.
Yeah. The thing that fucked me over with Gavin.
Yeah.
That thing.
It doesn't I believe that skill, it just helps
Eyes
you
of
see.
the beast.
Yeah, it
Fury, yada yada.
Yeah, Eyes of the Beast, I believe, it's a protean thing. It allows you to ignore any penalties imposed by darkness, including supernatural.
It just makes me spoopy.
So your eyes just go a little spoopy. Maybe the Tremere inside of you is finally rearing its ugly head. Go for it, guys. Angelo is kind of stuck where he is right now.
Yeah. Angelo is my guest at the club currently, and I have him here on behalf of Kalnin.
I don't care who he's on here in behalf of. I remember him disrespecting a guest at my club. He's continually striding toward the stage.
Well,
You're still
according
between.
to Angelo, you haven't marked your territory. It was a misunderstanding.
My territory?
Yes.
This whole club is my territory.
No, it's Hana's.
Okay.
Oh, burn.
All right, I'm gonna.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
I'm loving it.
What do I have to do to resist a rage frenzy?
Okay.
Does that make you angry?
Let's say.
Are you
Is
mad?
this our first fight?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's not your place. It's Hana's.
Jackson.
Bitch, hold my purse.
Jackson.
Let me take off my earrings.
Jackson, do you
Bitch,
consider
hold my
this-
shoes. Oh wait.
Do you consider this being insulted by an inferior, or do you feel like this is more public humiliation because they're new here?
I would say a little column A, a little column B.
Whoa.
Why does everyone think I'm the inferior when I am the most important?
Because it's my club, bitch.
Is it your name on the deed?
I will say,
You are like super quiet for me. I don't know if.
Yeah, you are, but I just figured that was an accident.
what? Who?
Yeah, you both are. You
Oh.
both went into another kind of like weird dip.
Yeah, you're both in another room right now.
Oh, now you're back. Wait, now
There
you're
you are.
gone.
Oh, now you're gone.
Edit. Oh no. It is going down. There we go.
Hello?
Hello. Yes.
Good? Better?
Hey, who?
Better. You sound.
Far away.
I mean, I don't think this
echoey,
is
but
translating
louder.
to the Twitch, but it's. Oh, we can hear you on Zoom now.
Oh, okay.
It's just not thrilling quality.
Okay, you gotta let me know what it sounds like.
You're louder, but you still sound far away.
It sounds like the gain got turned up, but it's kind of gross and blown out.
Oh, that's weird.
The gods.
It doesn't sound like Julian's mic is on at all anymore.
Really?
It sounds like you're in a big echoey room.
That's so weird. Should we take a 5-minute break?
It's Zoom, not.
Yeah, I figured it was Zoom. I figured it's not an issue. I don't think anybody's
mean,
having issues on Twitch.
You're good now. It was just before you were quiet. I mean, now it's not pleasant, but I can hear you now.
We can
so.
hear you, yeah.
It's Zoom doing aggressive
Dampening.
Hold on. It's Zoom doing very aggressive.
Good.
Good. Better.
Yes,
Perfect.
you're back to
That's
normal.
That's the normal you.
So
Okay.
on Zoom they do automatic adjustment.
This is what we talked about before.
Yeah, it does automatic adjustment. So if we end up being too loud, like if like suddenly I do like what, like it'll adjust it super low, and then it takes some time for it to come back.
To bounce back. Gotcha. I'm assuming there's a way to disable that.
Yes, but then I'd have to like find a level that is comfortable for everybody.
Yeah.
And it might be too high or too low.
We'll do a test on another day.
Yeah. Okay. So, Jackson, roll for me a Fury Frenzy at a 2.
Okay.
I fucked up. I'm in danger.
I rolling all my willpower that I currently have.
There's a little there's a frenzy button you can press down at the bottom.
It says willpower number.
As long as you have not spent any willpower, jot that in.
Got it.
I think you should be okay.
And humanity 5, modifier 0.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. You barely do it. You feel the beast behind you. Kind of like, and you feel like briefly like those talons kind of like gingerly like tickle your scalp. And you hear a voice, and it says, if she just went away, you could be the one in charge. You wouldn't have to deal with Daddy Baron's little bitch. But then you realize that this is the Baron's childer, and that if you were to perhaps do away with her, you might be doing away with yourself.
She's still a little bitch, though.
So you managed to bite back.
Yeah, I think that like as that happens, he's like taking his first step onto the dance floor, and there's almost like this anime moment of like his foot just like hits with way more force than expected, and he just cracks some of the tile under his foot.
Oh.
It's been 5 years, we haven't replaced it.
You're right. No, well, we got all week to replace it now, and it's your fucking job. But
I don't get paid.
he is going to fuck.
So right now, VW is kind of like taking the fronting here.
My 5'4"
She is your obstacle right now because you definitely know that your dread gaze is keeping Angelo stuck in place. And now I'm gonna add.
He's gonna ignore the comment. He will literally like bite his tongue, so there's just like a little bit of blood. It's like seeping out into his mouth. But he will just very calmly, with his eyes fixed on the stage, say, "Get out of my way."
No.
I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
Literally 5'4" Jackson.
What is this? Is this fucking meme? Like friendship ended with so and so. Now
Yeah,
best friends
friendship
with.
Yeah.
Like you just rekindled a friendship with Vanessa, and now it's like I only have enough room in my dead heart for one best friend right now. So
I can't win. No.
It's still funny.
Whatever problems that you have with Angelo need to get fixed right now, because Angelo might be joining the Anox and he might be joining your band.
I roll another frenzy?
Oh my god!
This soon?
No, by this point, you cannot be any more publicly humiliated, and you've already been insulted by your inferior. The only thing that would probably trigger another frenzy is if VW said something along the lines of hurting your touchstone, which she's not
yet. Okay. He hears that again, or he hears that now. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I did not expect this tonight either. Jesus.
He's gotta. If I use Dread Gaze on somebody else, does it break my first one?
I believe so.
I think
yes.
it lasts for the
Probably.
scene. Like
And you do target it. So if you wanted to shift your dread gaze to another person, you could do that.
Oh, duration 1 turn.
1 turn. Okay, so
it's over anyway.
yeah. So I'm still considering this, like, because we're not in combat right now.
You're right.
So I'm considering that, yes, this is your turn, but if you wanted to use this on, try to potentially use this on VW, then it would probably no longer work on Angelo.
He's just gonna look down at her and say, "Is this orders from Daddy as well?"
Yes.
That's a lie, though.
Well,
No, but you know that Darian isn't quite happy with the current situation, and if Ravnos were to be a part of Jackson Preen and his classic
Lower
identity,
your
then
voice.
Hana would have to let you go on tour.
Hear a whirring of a sewing machine in the background.
Yeah. That's
That's
Jackson's fucking gears grinding in his brain.
that's his brain.
If Ravnos were to be a part of Jackson Preen and his plastic vanity, Hana would have to let you go on tour.
No one lets me do anything. I do
And
what
that's
I
why you
must.
left the club in 5 years. I'm doing this for you as well, Jackson. You're my friend, and I think Angelo would be a good fit for the band. I think it would be a benefit.
he's going to be quiet for a very long time.
Don't have to answer now. And if you need time to think about it, we can leave.
Oh god, that was a really loud sound in my ear.
I don't know why it's so loud.
God damn it. This is the worst.
I will say Angelo is, as you've kind of like made it towards the stage, he's kind of like stood back, kind of like putting distance between you and him. And we'll say that your turn is over by this point. And he'll say,
Please, not trying to intrude in your machinations. I am just listening to voices of the Anarch Revolution. Just thought it was perhaps your calling.
Lovely, another freedom fighter.
You should be glad that this one believes in freedom and justice for
All?
perhaps all. Whatever
Perhaps.
they say in America.
Yes, all.
Ah, yes.
I mean, he's been thoroughly humiliated now.
You did that.
I did that. I didn't mean to do that, but I did that.
No, you did mean to it.
He drops the. I mean, he's dropped the gaze. It doesn't have. I think he broke eye contact easily because he was looking at VW. And he will just kind of look up toward Angelo and say, "You've been invited here, albeit without my knowledge, but you are still a guest for the moment. Do what you like. But do we have an understanding? Everything in this club is mine."
Even your Coterie member here.
We'll see.
and Angelo doesn't contradict you. Though what I would love for you to do, I would love for you to roll intelligence and awareness at a 4. Good job.
That was literally I that is the best I could have rolled besides critting.
Yeah. You Jackson, you're just like, everything in this club's fucking mine. And briefly you see from the corner of your eye something else that kind of catches the light. And as your head turns, you see Rosalind standing nearby you, on the stage, kind of like off to the side. She looks exactly as she did the night that you had that encounter with this Ravnos. But she does not look upset or dazed or anything. In fact, she looks to be the only thing that seems different is that she looks to be kind of touching a necklace to her like the nape of her neck. And you see, I was going to say a rose, but it's whatever symbol you want it to be. and she reveals it to you. Now, you register, you see through this ruse. You've seen illusions from this person before. That this is scarily realistic. You feel like this could touch you. And as you're kind of like almost taken and looking at this illusion, you'll hear Angelo say,
Please, friend, you understand that you can just simply mark what is yours, either with your symbol or by other means. I did not mean to step on what is yours.
Obviously, he's making this illusion. Is he trying to hide the fact that it's an illusion?
no.
Or is he showing me this is his PowerPoint presentation?
Pretty much, yeah. Like if you were to have failed this, you would have thought she was actually here, and this actually might
Right.
escalated the situation. But because you didn't freak out, he didn't feel a need to explain that this is an illusion. BW, I will actually say that you see this too. And you know what? For Shiggles, also roll for me
Intelligence awareness.
intelligence and awareness at a
I
4.
have 2 dice in intelligence and awareness.
Well,
Better crit.
You better crit.
Sir, I'm a dumb bitch. Sir.
You're a Tremere. You
Wank.
should have better intelligence.
You should have better intelligence by this point.
You really should. But VW, when did Rosalind get here?
Hey, girl.
That's what I was talking about. That's the Rosalind.
That's her. Jackson will watch this happen and this fucking pleading advice that he's being given. And he will just kind of look up and sneer at this man and say, "You get her image out of your mind."
It was not simply from my mind, friend. It is your mind.
And the illusion fades.
Oh, so he's pulling images from me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck this guy.
Robinos can do fun shit.
I hate them. He will just say,
Oh, far out.
VW is like, that, I don't know how that's going to be useful to the Anarchs, but it's going to be useful to the Anarchs somehow.
That's cool.
But Angelo kind of like quickly kind of throws the guitar back over his shoulder, and he will say,
I will give you time to think, but for now I think perhaps it is best that I go.
I'll escort you out.
and
Jackson will just stand there, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Angelo will kind of go over, kind of plop his guitar into the case, and he will head out. BW, do you have anything to say to him before he goes?
I will keep in touch about, well, it doesn't really matter what Jackson thinks, but about what he thinks and how things go over.
Well, from what I understand of Toreadors, they tend to obsess about things, and then, well, once they find something new and pretty and interesting, they tend to move on.
Can I please roll to hear all of this?
This is outside, and so unless
I don't care. No.
unless you went to the door to press your little ear against the door.
No.
No.
I hear it.
You know how to reach me if you ever need anything. Don't let Big Bad Jackson Green stop you from doing what you want to do.
We were friends like
Whatever.
yesterday, bitch.
Whatever that means.
Very
You're
well.
being bad to him, you're mean.
Very well. I'll consider your offer, and perhaps I'll come when he's predisposed, so that way we don't have a repeat problem.
You do play beautifully. Like, definitely in top 5 guitarists I've heard.
He smiles at that, and your eyes blink, and he's gone.
Fucking show off.
And we move on throughout the night. I'm assuming VW and Jackson aren't no talk me Angie.
Well, I don't know if Jackson's still, like, in.
Jackson will still be standing there when she comes back in, so if you do want to have a talk, we can have this happen now. Or after Fitz's scene.
Or after Fitz's scene. Maybe that would be appropriate.
Give me time to think about how to
Sure.
fix this.
You do a think. Fitz.
Going to church.
You're going to church. All right. Going to the church.
Going to the chapel and I'm gonna get married.
Wow. Okay. Fitzgerald. You make your way downtown. Walking fast.
Faces pass and I'm homebound.
Anyway.
Yeah.
No, you
Even with the setting turned off, Zoom hated that.
I'm sure. You go down to the Church of St. Gabriel's. For it is the only place that you know of where Father Siren could possibly be. According to you, it's been 24 years, so I mean, for all you know, Father Siren might be dead, but considering that Professor Higgins didn't look that much, I mean, he was old before, but now he looks like old.
Did you say it's been 24 years and he could be dead?
maybe
What do you think happened in 24 years?
that might be Malkov talking, who knows. But you head down to the church, and do you just go straight in?
Yes.
All right, you go straight in, and at first glance, nothing really seems to look different. Floors all look the same. The altar still looks the same. The amount of people at this point in night all look the same. Not literally, but everyone, it seems kind of timeless, this little piece of holy sanctuary. But what you do notice is that there doesn't seem to be any initial sign of Father Siren being there. As they are often the one who worked the confessional booths this late at night.
That's where I'm going.
Well, you head over there, and you'll be sadly disappointed to see Father Abraham there instead, kind of coming out, this portly looking man.
This fucking top hat and chin strap. Fuck this guy.
What?
Father Abraham.
Father with
No, Abraham's at the Haven.
that's Abraham Lincoln. But yeah, you kind of see this portly man who's balding, and kind of like almost like chastising the person that's coming out of the booth, and definitely not Father Siren. This is not like grade A quality confessional time. If you want to perhaps dig about, you can try to do a streetwise at a 2 difficulty to see if you can locate where they might have gone all this time, or to inquire.
Okay. I'll use my streetwise and social stat.
Yes. It'll be a streetwise and a we'll say your best social stat. I'll be nice. Okay, that's a messy critical. It's a messy critical. All right.
First night back on the town.
All right, Jesse, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to gain a stain? Would you prefer to breach the masquerade? Would you rather prefer to fail the test, or do you want to ding some Malkavian craziness? because maybe the reason why you messy critical is that you're wondering why they aren't there. They should be there. They've always been there, as far as you're concerned. This is ruining your upset.
I punch my fist right through the confessional wood.
How many donations do you think this church gets?
I mean, it's
Fix that shit.
it's a Catholic church.
Just
No, the shit that Lysander carved into the pew is still fucking there.
just right through. Just
Oh,
I see him there. Wrong father.
I'm assuming you're still talking to this man though to try to figure out where's Sabriel.
Yeah, and if he's not giving me like an answer that I want, that is specifically the answer is like, oh, Father Siren will be here soon. If that's not what's coming out of his fucking mouth.
Oh, I'll tell you what he says.
Yeah.
It's like you go over to talk to him, and how do you ask?
I thought Father Siren was going to be in confessional this evening.
I'm sorry. Father Siren, you're asking about?
He kind of squints at you.
Yes, Father Siren.
Oh, Father Siren. Where did he?
He kind of like makes those gross old man mouth noises.
Tasting his own mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a bad case of Jeff Bridges' mouth.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Father Siren. He's been undergoing new studies back in Vatican City. And his presence is
How long is
much fleeting.
When
During this
when will Father Siren return?
Father Siren, comes and goes. There's no set schedule. If you need confession, my son.
And he kind of gestures to the booth.
I punch the confessional.
You punch through. You punch through the wood.
Yeah. That's what I want.
Okay.
I punch through the wood. Hopefully shock the man.
You do. There is a deafening sound of your fist going through mahogany.
Ooh.
And Fitz, your fist is stuck in the wood as you do this, and register how hard of a surface you just punched through. Layers upon layers of ornately designed confessional mahogany detailing. And the man that sees you do this, and all the people in the space sees this.
I'm on PCP, don't worry.
I will say that Father Abraham, he gasps and goes out cold because he's shocked by what he just saw.
I'm gonna pull out.
Killed this man.
I'm gonna pull my hand out.
Your hand is stuck.
I'm gonna pull my hand out. These are things I'm saying I'm doing. Don't tell me I'm not doing it.
Okay. Roll for me a strength and a athletics at a 2 difficulty.
God damn it. I'm gonna rouse my blood. gonna
and I will say, as you're ripping you're not hungrier. As you're ripping your hand.
That's a +2, right? No, I'm +1.
There's a little cheat sheet. I believe it's +1, but you can double check for me. For what you get.
The blood surge I thought was a +2.
I have only
it
one.
It depends on your blood potency.
My blood potency is 1, so I have 2 dice. It's 2 dice still.
It's 2 dice.
It's still 2 dice. Okay, so here we go.
So as you're pulling your hand back, there's a cacophony of screaming inside of the sanctuary.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave.
And people scatter.
I'm gonna leave.
You rip your hand out. You've breached a masquerade.
Oops.
That's what you've done.
What? It's interesting, right? That's what you wanted, right? You wanted.
Yes.
You wanted.
It's good shit. I thought it was awesome.
You guys been to church?
Yes, I've been to many different kinds of churches.
Where is he? Where?
It's the booth.
It's the booth.
Yeah, but I thought he punched through like he punched through to the guy. Like
No, the dude's on his way out. He's out.
He was out chastising the person that was leaving.
okay,
So he's outside.
I get it now. I was not understanding. I was like, I understand father, but I was like, I don't understand.
Father, I understand feigning, but I don't understand the rest of this shit. Yeah, I got 3 successes,
Yes.
so I'm gonna pull my arm out and just, you know,
Yep.
do the speed walk out.
As you do this, roll for me a wits and awareness at a 4 difficulty.
You're gonna get put down on your first night back.
Whatever.
Bear's gonna be like, no, this was a bad idea.
This is a mistake.
1 success.
Mistake. This was
Okay, don't want to spend willpower or anything?
It's almost 4.
I can't.
It's almost 4.
I can't. Like, I can spend willpower to
re-roll 1 die.
1 dice.
Yeah.
I guess I can try that.
Or you can re-roll the first one. So
That's 2
that's
successes.
2 successes, but not 4. Okay. So
Yeah, there's no way. No, why did I even spend the willpower? I'm dumb. Anyway, I'm gonna speed walk it.
hold on, we're not done yet.
No,
Jesse.
we are. I'm done.
No, we're not.
I'm leaving. It's over. I'm done.
Do you not want to know what your roll was for?
Yeah, what was it for?
Okay. Fitz, as you're speed walking out and you realize that there were several people that just saw you do a supernatural feat.
Oops.
And from within the sanctum, that echoes off the stone walls and stained glass windows, you hear a voice that is both similar and yet not. Mr. Winters, I didn't expect to see you here within these walls. As far as you're concerned, humans don't sneak up on vampires very often.
Oh, great.
Do you turn to look?
Sure.
you act like you don't like this.
All right, let's do this. It's fine.
It's fine, whatever. Fuck it. Yeah, let's see what's going on.
Whatever. No, I leave. Fitzgerald, at first glance, the test of time is clear as day on Sabriel's expression. No longer are their eyes wide and full of distinct hope. Despite their hair looking similar, the reddish strawberry blonde hue looks faded. Though perhaps what looks like it sticks out the most to you is the sharpened features on their face and the distinct scent of aftershave that tickles your nostrils coming from their person. It would appear that there's some progression that has been made since you last saw them.
Oh. I was worried it was going to be a vampire thing, but no, they're just a little honkier.
I was worried he was going to be a vampire, but no.
Why did you do that?
I was angry.
They kind of like slowly walk forward.
The critical of my hunger dice.
And they're kind of skirting you. If only because they haven't seen you in so long. And I will also say, Fitz, you have zero desire to, outside of your own self, you have zero desire to want to kill Sabriel. So that terminal decree that Louis has put
Vast
upon
improvement,
you,
yay.
does not seem to be in play right now.
Mm.
Despite you getting angry, I don't see you losing your temper that fast. You've changed.
So have you.
Their brows kind of crinkle a little bit and they kind of look off to the side before fixing their glasses. I just did what I... Do you want to talk outside? There might be people that are going to rush in here.
Walk with me.
They nod, and they go over towards you. And from now you can get a better sense of seeing them from... They're fairly short. You can see from...
Short king.
From beyond the pews, you can tell that Sabriel is wearing plain clothing, not any kind of vestments. Perhaps they were in the middle of traveling. They still look like proper, like prim and proper. Like it's not like they're wearing a t-shirt and like a leather jacket or anything like that. They still have like a button-up shirt, trousers, the whole 9 yards, a coat, and they'll kind of gesture briefly backwards. Everyone ran out to the front. You might cause a bigger upset if you go out through the front.
Then let's go through the back.
They kind of nod and they walk to lead you. And as you both walk, Fitz, I would love for you to roll for me Sense the Unseen.
I don't have that.
You don't have that for as an Auspex? I could have sworn you did.
Yes, I do.
I got it.
Oh yeah, wits and aspects.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I don't know what I have anymore. Hey ho, here we go.
Hee-hoo.
2.
Okay. Fitz, now that Father Saren is closer to you, and you kind of like look them over, maybe to perhaps get a better sense of like what the fuck has changed with your touchstone, you see almost radiating from the vein from their neck, which feels to you to be a vibrant hue that almost reflects stone and earth.
You put dirt in your veins? Why'd you do that?
You sense, perhaps over the past several years, that a deep disgracias has formed within Father Siren.
Delicioso.
That reflects a dark melancholy.
Muy grande.
Okay.
For you, that's tasty because that means fortitude and obfuscate. It also means some other things too, but you definitely get a sense that there is like a deep, like depression, sadness, being, I don't even want to say grounded. I almost want to say like buried. That's the sense that you get from Father Siren.
That's just your 20s.
Siren just turned 30.
They just turned 30.
Never mind, it's your 30s then. That's a different kind of depression.
And they kind of hastily take you out through the back. And thankfully, no one seems to be following you guys. Everyone kind of ran out through the front.
Everybody's just going to be talking about this crazy druggie.
That some has superhuman strength.
It's fine. They'll rationalize anything.
That punched
Yeah, the wood
hardest
was shitty.
The shitty mahogany wood.
It was coming down anyway.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
My favorite stupid quote from The Incredibles.
Fucking quote that like last session too for some fucking
And I don't know why.
And they kind of take you through the back, but they're being very quiet. And despite the fact that there has been some changes, you get the sense that Father Siren was always the type of person that let you do the talking because you were the one that was always doing the confession.
Go ahead. Ask the question.
What?
Ask the question that's burning inside of you.
Fitzgerald, that is entirely up to you to tell me where you've been and whether or not you'd like to tell me. I kind of open the back door that kind of leads into that almost like a back parking lot, so to speak, and they kind of keep walking away from the church to give you two more space away from, again, you hear cacophony of some sort of yelling, but that's at the front of the church.
You weren't in the confessional. And that is different. And I don't like the fact that things are different.
Fitzgerald, you haven't come to confessional in 5 years.
I was asleep.
Define sleep.
Deep, deep sleep.
They kind of stop. They were kind of like leading you, and they kind of stop and kind of pivot. They're very quick, and unless you want to do a roll to react, you're gonna have a hand on your chest.
No, that's fine. I like that.
Okay.
This sort of deep sleep.
Go on. Pull the vest down. You can see it.
Out here?
It's not like I'm cold.
Oh yeah, you did rouse the blood.
No, I believe you.
And they kind of they pull their hand away from your chest.
I was punished.
By whom?
By everyone who is stronger and better than me.
That could be many people.
Yes.
Fucking burn, dude. Damn. I see you 5 years ago. Put it back in the fucking ground.
Like, a matter of fact, but at the same time, such a fucking roast.
Yes. No, that is true. Everyone. My sire. My baron. Even my idiot coterie member who did not have my back. And you're not in the confessional, so I can tell you this.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that I was expected. Fitzgerald,
You're different.
I've started taking pills.
Back then they took pills, I found out in my research. Like, ain't that
Where's the pills now?
Ain't that a bitch, right? Okay, why
I don't
can't
want
we
to get
take
shots.
pills? It doesn't work as well, from what research I did.
I don't want to do shots. I want to do pills. I want Dick Skittles.
Dick Skittles. Wow.
I mean, considering it's been 5 years and Father Siren has a dirt stash, they can't be working that good.
It's working as best as it can.
Exactly.
I mean, sometimes people don't grow facial hair very easily, honestly. And to be fair, Father Siren is also still non-binary, so right. So they might not have a full need to fully transition. But you say that, and Father Siren kind of shakes their head and will say,
look, I'm sorry if me asking what I did of you was much, too much of you. I know it's foolish to think that one human can control
I wanted to. I wanted to try and be godly. To behave. To not sin. I wanted to. But the devil wouldn't let me.
The devil has a way of convincing everyone.
He said that if I came near you, I would have to be forced to kill you, and I didn't want that.
they look perplexed as you say that.
Did the devil actually talk to you?
Yes. Made me drink his blood. Not that I wasn't already drinking his blood, but I was drinking his sweet, sweet blood. Not as sweet as the Barons, but sweet blood nonetheless, and he told me I could not see you.
Fitzgerald, you're talking about your sire, not the devil. They are not one and the same.
He might as well be.
The devil that birthed other... Never mind.
And they shake their head and kind of look away.
Might as well be. Did you know what I found out? Did you know what I found out?
We shouldn't be talking out in the open like this.
I've had 5 years to sleep on this.
Because you were put under... Why did they do that to you?
Because I was a danger. Because I talked to you.
Because of me?
No, well, not just because of you, because I was playing the field.
Because you were talking to other... vampires.
People I wasn't supposed to talk to.
They nod at that, and I won't even have you roll for it. You get a feeling that Sebriel is understanding of what you're talking about.
Wasn't supposed to talk to anybody. Wasn't supposed to communicate. Wasn't supposed to break the masquerade. And look at me breaking the masquerade like a big fool. Oh no, the queen's gonna come get me. And they put me to sleep so that I would not cause trouble. And look at me causing trouble.
Then why did they remove it?
Because now I'm drinking from a different tap.
Another devil.
Another devil.
Did you say not the devil?
Another devil, yes.
Not the devil.
Another one.
They kind of like they shake their head and then like they look a little overwhelmed at everything that you kind of just threw at them.
So here's what we're gonna do.
Fitzgerald, we shouldn't be talking out like this.
We shouldn't be talking at all, technically. But I want to talk to you.
Come with me.
Kind of they'll reach to take your hand if you'll let them.
Sure.
And
The
rather
one that's full of mahogany chips.
cool. Well, they're not gonna grab your hand. They're gonna grab like your coat sleeve or your sweater sleeve, I should say, because you're not wearing a coat. And they rather roughly pull you off towards a car, a simple sedan. And you probably assume that it's theirs, considering the keys come out. You'll notice that in the back seat there is a small piece of luggage. Clearly, they might have just recently gotten back from wherever they were. And they kind of throw open the passenger door and they'll say, just get in. We'll talk somewhere more private. I don't want them hearing you.
Walls have ears.
God has ears and eyes everywhere.
Okay, I'll get in the car.
Okay. You get in the car, and Zabriel is looks panicked for a moment, and then they kind of like psych themselves out to just drive. And they don't tell you where you're going.
That's fine. Fitz just starts slouching in the chair, like, and starts picking his legs up and knees, like, to push against, like, the dash while he's, like, slowly picking at the splinters on his fist.
Sure.
And just sort of, like, flicking them away.
Sure, you can flick them out the window if you want.
Yeah.
And I think, like, as you both are driving, Sebriel will ask,
What is it you want? Are you just going to disappear again?
That's not my intention.
Then tell me what it is that you want, because I feel like our previous arrangement isn't possible.
I don't think that you can make me promise to only have you. I don't think that's going to work.
No, I'm sorry, that wasn't appropriate of me to ask.
And like they look kind of like they look A, sad, and B, frazzled by that, and you can tell that they're apologizing for that.
Fine. I wanted it at the time. I'm just not strong enough. And I don't think I'm ever going to be strong enough.
You're not answering me, Fitzgerald. What is it you want?
I don't know. I didn't fully understand what was going on inside of my body. Or what is left of my body.
You died, and your soul is chained down to the deepest pit of hell. And that chain is the only thing that's keeping you tethered to this place. Stop, you still have splinters in your hand.
It's not just that change. That's not the only change.
Yes, I understand. There are vampires that chain other vampires.
No.
Your sire did that to you, and somehow that's changed, and now there's...
No.
You said the Baron?
There's still a change happening.
What change?
I'm going mad, Sabriel.
That makes two of us.
No, you're angry.
I'm not angry at you.
No, you just... I'm not mad. Like, I'm not angry. I'm mad. I'm mad because this change has changed my perceptions of the world. Not that the veil has dropped and I know that there's a masquerade. No, that's not the change of the world that I'm talking about. I'm talking about my perceptions of the world has changed distinctly in that I can see things, hear things, experience things that nobody else can experience. Not even my fellow kindred, and they think I'm crazy. I am crazy.
I will say, like, if you look back towards Sabriel like looks up briefly away from the road, and like you actually like kind of see their eyes look glassy, like they're getting more and more upset. Maybe not so much as like what you're saying, but more of like what's happened to you.
Whatever was wrong with me as a person, as a human, as a mortal, whatever was wrong with me as a human, all that sin, all of that terrible, deep, dark sin that was boiling inside of me, it is manifesting itself as madness now. Madness that has allowed me to see what is going to happen to London. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to answer your question. Just give me a second. Just give me a moment. London is going to fall. Destroyed. Maybe. I don't know. Depends. Need to make a choice. I don't know if I need to make the choice. Somebody needs to make a choice.
And the My Fair Lady sort.
And in more like a fire and brimstone sort. Not now. No, not now, not tomorrow, not in 2 days, not in a week, not in a month, not in 2 months, not in a year, not in 2 years, not in 5 years.
Fitzgerald.
If you look over, they have like a white knuckle grip on the steering wheel.
Yes.
You can tell me about your visions as long as you accept
the price of my own confession.
I can roleplay being a father.
Fuck. You say that, and Sabriel frowns at that.
Did Andromeda fall on the floor?
I think so. Andromeda is... No, not yet. Sabriel will look kind of almost like abashed at that.
Whoa!
And say, I know what you are. You're a Malkavian. We're going to my place.
Vampire.
I know what you are. Say it.
I know what you... Well, no, I mean, the fact that they name-dropped your clan is concerning. And they'll say...
So, you've got an education, too.
Yes, and that's what I'm going to confess to you about. And they hit the brakes, and in all of your rambling, time has just gone by, and you haven't been paying attention to your surroundings.
No, of course not.
And you'll see in a concrete jungle-like building, you'll see an apartment complex. Clearly, this must be where Father Sabriel stays, which... Especially in the late 70s, these have become shitholes by this point.
What?
These were kind of these modern marvels that early British architectural, because they wanted to replicate how New York looked. And then they just kind of became these slums that people can't really afford.
Where are we?
My home. Don't ask questions, just go. And they get out of the car.
I have so many questions.
And they'll take you up and to kind of gloss over what happens. Sabriel will explain to you that in them not knowing where you went, they looked into foxholes that they shouldn't have, and that they have kind of become an informant to the Inquisition. They know what they know what vampires are. They know what different types of vampires are. They will explain to you the archetype of the Malkavian, essentially.
Things I already know because I learned that from the Camarilla.
Exactly. But the fact that you're hearing this from a human is concerning. But you realize that this was done all in the attempt to try to find where you went. Because all Sabriel wanted to do was apologize because they felt like they pushed you away for foolishly asking a vampire to feed off one person.
I'm not the problem child anymore.
So, if you want to sit on that for a bit,
Yeah, sure.
we'll jump over. VW and Jackson, do you guys want to talk quickly?
It depends on how much shit you want to say, Andromeda. Otherwise, I'm fine with holding off until next session if you have something to end on.
If not, I have something to end on.
Everyone's mad at me. I don't know.
No, it's just sometimes there's like a little dark voice that's in the back of Fitz's head that just pops up and says, "That bitch don't have your back," and it just manifests itself.
See, that's the same
beast.
thing that Jackson said. Yeah.
And it just manifests itself out, and I have to say it out loud because if I don't, it's just gonna bottle up inside and become a darkness inside of my heart. So Fitz just has to let that
Kingdom
go.
Hearts. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason. Fitz doesn't hate you.
Oh, thanks. Jesus.
So you can either have a quick conversation with Jackson, or that could wait until next time. It's up to you.
I feel like it's going to be quick either way because I feel like Jackson doesn't want to hear what I have to say.
Okay, then go for it.
Do it then, fucker.
You go back inside after Angelo does a cool thing and disappears before your very eyes, like darkness in the mists.
Like a fart in the wind.
You're going to have to tell Vanessa that you broke the floor.
Fuck you.
I'd imagine that would be apparent.
I'm not trying to, like... You've been stuck here for 5 years. And I know it's not because you want to be. And I just thought that it would be something that would be able to help you both out if you were able to get past the whole misunderstanding.
So your idea of helping is to insinuate someone else into my band? No discussion on my part?
And what would you...
Just have them show up. Despite what you may or may not. What is your goal?
Kaunan gave me a job to do, and I need to sway other kindred to the side of the Anarchs, and I thought the promise of, you know, having other people like him around who have his back would be enough of a sway, as well as being able to do what he loves. I wasn't necessarily going to... It's not my band. I wasn't going to replace Darian or anything like that unless Darian wanted to leave, but Darian hasn't been happy either.
And I suppose that's my fault as well.
No, he has other things going on as well.
Other things that I'm not to know about, I assume.
Well, he confided in me, and
oh no, BW, are you about to be a little rat?
no, I'm not gonna be a rat. No,
Be a rat. Do it.
I've never been a rat before, and I'm not starting now.
He confided in you. About?
Well, he hasn't exactly been upfront with all of the details. But he just has a similar situation that he knew I would be willing to listen about, unlike...
Unlike?
Oh, no. This is going so bad.
So, not only are my own bandmates more willing to speak to you about their issues with the way I'm running things, you take it upon yourself to find their replacements. Again, no discussion on my part. So tell me, if this band isn't mine, then what the fuck do I have?
You got a friend in me.
Wait, Mr. Brain. You hear from the
Oh
door.
god, what does Benji want?
Benji's at the door again,
What does
and
Benji
he's
want?
like, is the
Walk
meeting
out?
is the meeting over? Mr. Crescents, want to get in, but I can't tell him to hold off and shit like that until the meeting was over. Darian.
Send him in.
Alright. He shrinks back. In that moment, Benji is glad that he is Vanessa's ghoul and not Jackson's. It's not long. Like, you hear like a door close, obviously, of the car that Darian has. Then eventually the door kind of pops open, and typically Darian underdresses, kind of like how you do, Jackson. But he's actually, for once, he's dressed for the weather, which to you is entirely too much clothes. I mean,
Of course.
someone of that man's stature should be hardly wearing anything. But he kind of like looks around and goes, "Some kind of sort of fucking secret meeting that I need to be worried about, that I'm not allowed into my own fucking recording studio?"
Do not take your anger on me out on Darian.
I'm sorry, what?
Is that an order from Daddy as well? And he'll turn around and say, no secrets here. Not tonight.
Right. He adjusts something, and he has just a strap that's on his shoulder, and you can kind of see an unfilled bag. Green, can we talk?
Yes, we can. And he'll stand where he's standing.
Okay. Darian kind of like walks over, kind of like nonchalant, and he notices the crack in the stage. He doesn't say anything about that, but he kind of like nods his head towards the backstage and kind of heads off towards it.
Jackson will walk back there without saying another word to VW.
Okay. VW, do you want to listen in on this?
Yeah, VW is going to wait until they're wherever they're going, and then she's going to follow after and turn on her ears.
Turn on her ears. Do you have like super
I have
hearing?
heightened senses.
Okay. This is actually gonna be really funny. You go over there, and there's literally like curtains that go to the backstage. As far as you're concerned, both Darian and Jackson don't go far. And for you, Jackson, you see Darian kind of shrug off the bag, and he drops it onto the concrete floor. That, VW, makes your ears ring. That's just to kind of let you know how loud heightened senses can be. It
I
feels.
was gonna say, is it gonna break it if I roll?
No. What it does, this isn't gonna be bad enough where you're gonna have to roll against it. But just so you're aware, heightened senses can be both a very good and a very bad thing. So this is just giving you a precursor on that. So your ears kind of, the ringing subsides long enough for Darian to say, "I'm quitting the band." And that's where we're gonna end.
I was just covering your ass.
Now, it's not to say that Jackson can't pull this around.
No, but
This is just what Darian is saying. But Darian's just human.
He
yeah,
has
we're going on tour soon.
He also has reasons.
Yeah.
But you don't know those reasons
Jackson
yet.
doesn't know about those reasons.
You don't know reasons yet, but Darian is just human, and you have cool, awesome vampire powers, so you can do whatever you want.
Jackson would use them. I don't want to.
Well, you have a couple weeks to think about that.
Yeah.
But
I hope
It's okay. I'm
everyone's
listening in. I can burst in and ruin things at any moment. It's okay.
It's okay. Thank you guys for joining us for Vampire at the Disco. Literally Vampires at the Disco. Interview with a vampire at the disco. Thank you all for joining. I hope our players had fun. I know there was definitely some super stressful things there. We'll do some quality of life checks after this. But let's go ahead and do a quick exit. Just say who you are, who you played, your favorite part or what you're looking forward to, and where can we find you? So
Start with Andromeda.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Andromeda. I played VW, who has one friend now. Their name is Vanessa. I miss her.
Vanessa's probably gonna come back angry too. I'm not gonna lie.
I know, like, now I'm worried about Gem. Like, fuck, like, I don't even, Gem is not involved in me in any way. Now I'm worried about Gem. You can find me on Twitter at SCGIROL, where you can keep track of all the things I'm involved in, such as a Paths RPG on Tuesdays over on Marine of One's channel, titled Silent Whispers at 8 p.m. EST, where I play someone who has more friends than VW at the moment. She has one best friend. She's working on getting second best friend, third best friend soon to come. We will wear them down eventually.
Okay.
Still more than VW right now.
What was your favorite part?
Favorite is an interesting word, but I think yeah, I think the most interesting part for me was Jackson and VW having their first fight, because it was bound to happen. Because friendships are not perfect, and we are flawed people, and it was going to happen eventually. But I didn't know what it was going to happen about.
You just knew in the back of your mind and your soul.
I just knew it was going to, like, I was like VW is lenient because, you know, she's lenient with everyone about everything, but I was like, she's hard lines on some things. So that's going to be very, very interesting going forward, how we mend the friendship.
I mean, there's always going to be some kind of tension or friction within a coterie. I feel like this is definitely some sort of misunderstanding, and a lot of that misunderstanding came from Angelo. So hopefully with what he said, kind of, it might not have eased Jackson's concerns.
Oh, nothing eases Jackson's concerns.
Right, but at the very least, he is at least posturing himself as I am no longer a threat to you.
Yeah. Jackson's gone down in humanity over the 5 years too, which is
sure. So and Michael's playing it very, very well, being at 5 humanity right now. Because people are mostly just playthings, except for the playthings that are yours. And that includes the playground in which the playthings play in. So
we have a sandbox and everything.
We do have a sandbox.
We do.
So thank you for playing. I'm sad I didn't get to the one last thing for VW, but we'll get to that next time.
Jesus, what the what?
We got a lot of shit to do. Don't worry about it.
There's a lot of shit to do.
Don't worry about it.
But
I'm not important. What do you mean there was a thing?
Nope. Anyway,
Michael's turn.
Hey, I'm Michael. I played Jackson, who's having a rough fucking time, as am I. Playing characters this low is really hard. Because there are things that I want to do that he just wouldn't and can't. Like,
you're like, I want to comfort a character, I can't.
Right, I can't. And I want to be understanding, but I can't. It's a bitch. It's rough. I don't see how Jackson gets out of this funk without burning everything to the ground and taking people with him. So we will see.
We need to get you your replacement touchstone.
Definitely need to speak to Mirage next week. Or next time. That needs to happen to level him out.
Was already a touchstone.
No, not yet.
No, not yet. He's just drifting at this point. There are deep concerns over Hana, and Jackson doesn't give a fuck about the Anarchs right now. So hopefully his new best friend Mary will help with that because she seems cool.
She is cool. She's a very cool venturer.
She is, yeah.
Nice. But it's okay because Mary's a beautiful woman.
But she was probably my favorite part of the episode. I mean, I love the conflict, as painful as it is. It was good. I would like to have watched that instead of participating in it. However, no, it was good. It was cool. This was a very cool character episode. I'm sure Darian has reasons, and I don't want to know what they are. Well, but I mean, I guess I need. This is the thing.
Do you not know what they are?
You're gonna find out.
I don't I don't do meta in this game.
No, but like, I thought everyone. Am I?
Are you reading the Conca?
Do I know things that the people don't know for what? What?
There are things that are alluded to.
I know what the potentials are for a lot of stuff. I know, meta wise, but I'm just waiting for it to be revealed at this point.
Sure, and that'll happen next session. And like I said, Jackson is a very capable, influential person. So if Jackson doesn't want things to happen, he can probably change some things.
If Darian comes clean about some stuff, this might actually be resolved very easily based on Jackson's, what are they called, convictions.
Yeah, depending on whether I have to go and kill Gavin real quick or not. But what?
Gavin's not involved.
Oh, really? Well, I know he is meta-wise, but
No.
Michael,
anyway,
where else can we find you?
Yes, you can find me here on alternate Fridays, where I play also in Jesse's Scion game, where I play Kiva, who is a Scion of Hades, who is in the middle of remodeling a haunted village. That's what's happening. And hopefully it will become a nice safe space that people will appreciate her for, unlike how people treat Jackson. So
the same things happen in here though, is preventing a nice little haunted space to be a safe space to.
Yeah, but Kiva's space will actually be a nice place.
Yeah, without a bunch of horrible fucking backstabbers and betrayers running around inside of it.
I mean, there could be vampire titan spawn that go there. You don't know.
Ooh, fancy. But yes, you can also catch me here on Monday, where I am running Symphony of Sorrow, our D&D Curse of Strahd actual play, featuring most everybody here, and also Var, who is not here, where our characters are inside of a also kind of a haunted village, kind of a fucking nasty place full of vampires. Hold on.
Wait, I see it right.
Wait a minute.
What's strings? And just realized that the priest that they've been dealing with has a few skeletons in his closet.
Yeah, one that was chained to a wall and is now wanting to eat us.
Yeah, not really a skeleton in the closet, more of a vampire son in the basement. That the party's going to have to deal with real quick after having I'd say a very successful funeral with no surprises or twists.
Oh,
father,
yeah.
Right?
What?
You're going to return him to his father, right?
They also just met their lovely new patron. One Konstrad von Zarovich, who is very, very kind and very respectful to all of them.
Hey, I shook the man's hand and told him the Lord was coming, so you better buckle up.
Yeah, awesome. Catch us on Mondays for that. It's a lot of fun, at least for me.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, I know that it is definitely rough, I think, for Jackson to be as low as this, and we can discuss on whether or not you are comfortable with him going lower, or if we should maybe reassess how low he should be going, and whether or not how soon you want him to go back on the upswing. So those are things that
I would say 4 is probably as low as I'd be willing to go.
Yeah, and
I got one more. Yeah,
we can discuss all of that easily on, like, if there's ever adjustments that you ever want to make to your character, because I know that you wanted to do like hits rock bottom and climbs his way back up, but if we've already reached your threshold of rock bottom, we can always change some stuff.
We can talk about I don't think we've hit the bottom yet. unfortunately. But we can talk about what the bottom looks like, so maybe we could prepare for it.
Sure,
or at
sure.
least try to work toward it.
Yeah, so that way you won't be maybe like caught off guard or anything like that. So
this is all shit as well. Everything that is happening is stuff that I expected. It's just hitting him all at one, one after the other, and it's been 5 fucking years.
Yeah, it feels that way too, because 5 years has passed. So typically these things didn't really stack up right after another, but it feels that way because it's been session after session.
Exactly.
But hopefully Jackson has felt some interesting levity with the Bahari.
They're fun.
Maybe there's a reason for why you're suffering so much. If you look under the recruiting for the Bahari, you will see that Jackson is a prime candidate. God. That's the reason why I had Mary talk about suffering and pain and stuff like that all the time. So I can always send that to you later.
Awesome.
But I guess I'll go next and let Jesse close us out. Hi, I'm Julian. I have been your storyteller. I am one half of Jackal and Hare. I really had fun playing Angelo. I took inspiration from you, Michael, with the Slavic kind of accent, and that was kind of my spin. My determination was to try to also make him not sound like Ritter.
He didn't sound like Ritter. Yeah, it was good.
So I was like, okay, I gotta make sure he doesn't sound like Ritter. So I was pretty happy with that. I think he's going to be a very interesting character. Depending on how long he sticks around is going to be up to you guys. You can find me on the Monday game, and also the Friday game, the alternate Friday game, Mortal Odyssey. And you can also find me Tuesdays with Paths on Marine of One's channel, and on the Guild of Phoenix, whether it is for another D&D campaign called Reticent on Thursdays, or alternating Sundays for Shadow's Embrace, another VTM Chronicle, or a Cyberpunk Red campaign. So that is that. Jesse.
Hello, my name is Jesse.
Chippy.
Gypsy. I am the other half of Jacqueline here. I played Fitz. As far as what my favorite part of the game was, I think seeing Jackson getting angrier and angrier is always fun to watch. You're such a great role player, Michael. So it's always fun to see you play these different characters, and I want you to feel confident that I like what you're doing with Jackson. But also punching my fist through a confessional, really funny.
Shit was good.
That caught me so off guard. I was like, oh, that's a huge masquerade breach.
That was a great bestial failure, or bestial success.
Messy critical.
Messy. It's a messy critical. So I mean,
I was like, only one old man saw it, right? And you're like, no,
because I had made mention that there were other people there.
Yeah, so I committed to the bit. Whatever, it's fine.
No, I mean, and that's the great thing about this game is doing things like that. Because you're a monster that's trying to get control on their monsterness, and then sometimes it just comes out. I
have a temper. But that was funny. And cool. And so as far as where you can find me on Jacqueline Hare, we run on Fridays. I run the Immortal Odyssey, which is mentioned before. It is a 2nd edition Scion game. Be on the lookout. We are interchanged with our VTM game here. So next Friday, you'll see us as the Scion crew. And then after that, the VTM crew, so on and so forth. I will say that we have been blessed with the opportunity to be able to stream on the Onyx path soon, and I'll probably talk about that a little bit later once we get some more solid stuff, but that is really exciting, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Our crew on another channel, and it's bigger than ours, so that's pretty cool and pretty swell. I have nothing else to say, so definitely give us a follow, give us a sub, and we will release